CareRite.com to learn more. That's CareRitecenters.com. CareRite.
When you get life insurance through Health IQ, it's like getting paid for living a healthy lifestyle. Because Health IQ is the only life insurance company that can save you up to 41% for the healthy activities you already do. That means you could get $1 million in coverage for as little as $36 a month. That's huge savings. Have a gym membership? You could qualify. Jog a few times a week. You could qualify. It really is that simple. Just go to healthiq.com/easy. Only Health IQ rewards your healthy lifestyle choices with special savings, up to 41%. It's why Health IQ was awarded the Better Business Bureau's highest rating. To shop the top 30 life insurance carriers, plus apply for Health IQ's exclusive healthy lifestyle savings, go to healthiq.com/easy. To get these amazing savings, go to healthiq.com/easy. Now, that's healthiq.com/EASY.
Wins News Time at 2:38. Now 1010 Wins Entertainment, sponsored by ENT and Allergy Associates in affiliation with Mount Sinai. Kanye West fans getting a first look at Jesus is King. West released a 1-minute trailer for the upcoming IMAX film featuring a choir singing scripture from the Gospel of Mark. The film is being billed as a companion to the upcoming West album of the same name. Lady Gaga says everything's okay after she took a tumble off stage last night during her concert in Vegas. Video clips show the pop superstar dancing with a fan, then trying to jump into his arms, but losing her balance, knocking both of them to the ground below. Well, if she was hurt in the fall, it wasn't too bad because Gaga was quickly back on her feet with the help of a few security guards. A special treat for fans who attended a screening of Rocket Band at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles last night. Both Elton John and Taron Egerton, the actor who plays him in the biopic, took the stage to perform the song they recorded together, I'm Gonna Love Me Again. Elton also performed solo, singing his big hit, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Wins News Time, 2:39.
To make sure that ENT and Allergy and Mount Sinai could best connect community and academic medicine,
Dr. Alyssa Hackett, otolaryngologist, Mount Sinai Hospital, and deliver the fastest and most comprehensive treatment of diseases of the head and neck, Dr. David Bowe, otolaryngologist, ENT and Allergy Associates.
we needed to make sure we were totally in sync.
So we aligned our electronic health record systems to transfer patient information instantly.
And we constantly meet to share expertise in the latest clinical developments.
As a result, each time a patient is directed from ENT and Allergy to Mount Sinai,
And there have been more than 10,000 patients since we began,
they receive the precise, personalized care they need
from the surgeon who can best deliver it.
in as little as 24 to 48 hours, from doctor's visit to hospital visit. For your same-day appointment at ENT and Allergy, call 1-855-ENTA-DOC or book online anytime.
Make sure you have the full team
On your side.
Sherry Stein from Manhattan, you're the winner of our Bob Seger ticket giveaway. Congratulations from 1010 Wins.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 58 degrees. It is 2:40 on this Friday, October 18th. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. NYC Transit President Andy Byford denying that he's leaving that job and says all is copacetic between him and Governor Cuomo. A horrific crash leaves 3 people dead on Route 80 in Parsippany. Our Glenn Schuck will have the story. A rally on the steps of City Hall calling for more action to end homelessness in New York. And amid cancer concerns, the maker of Zantac is now pulling the antacid off store shelves. And Wins AccuWeather clear and cold tonight, down to 42.
Good job, Miko. It's a Game 5 tonight at the stadium. Yanks down 3-1 to the Astros in the American League Championship Series. Rangers skate in Washington. Knicks and Nets with preseason games tonight.
Bloomberg's Larry Kowski. Stock prices remain lower. The Dow now down 197 points. The Nasdaq falling 58.
Wins News Time, 2:41. Traffic and transit. Here's Gregory.
Well, certainly looks like a Friday afternoon across the Hudson. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The inbound side of the George, that's still your saving grace. That's in good shape. And the west side highway overall, not just at the George, but at any of your Hudson River options, that's the best way back to Jersey. The rest of the George options are bad ones. Lincoln's about 10 to 15 in. Outbound Lincoln at least 45 from 11th Avenue. We're getting there elsewhere. We're upwards of an hour at the outbound Holland, at least off of Varick, and a solid 45 elsewhere across the board. Inbound Holland, stay with the Skyway, deal with it. The Newark Bay Extension eastbound side, you got a standstill getting onto the Newark Bay Bridge with a broken down 18-wheeler blocking the right lane. Rest of the bridges and tunnels, here's what you need to know. Citybound Midtown tunnels all messed up. The Brooklyn-bound side of the Brooklyn Bridge, we still have this left lane construction and a standstill getting there, not only from the FDR, but also the local streets of Lower Manhattan. Queensboro Bridge, upper level. That's a pretty good ride for you either way. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report at 2:51 on 1010 Wins.
NYC Transit President Andy Byford is denying reports that he quit. Politico says he handed in his resignation last week because he's at odds with Governor Cuomo, but that he later rescinded. Well, now comes a statement from Byford that he's not going anywhere and remains, quote, laser focused on improving day-to-day service for millions of New Yorkers and delivering a transformed transit network. As for the governor, he says he and Cuomo are on exactly the same page about the need to dramatically improve the transit system in New York, and we now have the plan and the funding to do that. A spokesperson for the governor had no immediate comment. 2 women and a man were killed, a 4th person hospitalized following an overnight crash on Route 80 in Morris County.
2 burned out and completely destroyed cars towed away in a flatbed about 7:30 this morning from the scene, nearly 6 hours after this horrific collision in the express lanes of eastbound Route 80. Both cars immediately catching fire. One ended up on its side in the highway, the other on fire in the grassy median. Jersey State Police saying that car in the median is where 3 people were found dead inside. A 4th person is in serious condition. The state police adding that it'll take some time to determine the identities of those who lost their lives here. Cause of the crash unknown either. Speed or alcohol was a factor. They'll know that eventually, but for now, we know 3 people have been killed here. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, Route 80, exit 45 near Smith Road in Parsippany.
The drug war appears to be keeping authorities busy in Mexico.
How threatening are drug cartels to peace in Mexico? Well, Mexican officials released the son of notorious drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman on Thursday after he was arrested. They said they did so to protect lives after cartel gunmen turned the city of Culiacan into a virtual war zone when he was taken into custody. Ovidio Guzman Lopez is wanted on drug trafficking charges. The Mexican National Guard and Army raided a house in Culiacan where he was staying. Arrested him soon after. Roads were blocked and gun battles broke out across the city. Steve Kastenbaum for 1010 Wins.
Wins News Time 2:44.
At PSEG Long Island, we're leading the way through innovation, like solar power, with more customer-generated rooftop solar power than anywhere else in the state. And wind power, by finalizing plans for the largest offshore wind farm in the country. At PSEG Long Island, we're investing in new technologies every day that will continue to power our homes and businesses with more reliable, efficient, and sustainable energy today and for generations to come. PSEG Long Island. Now that's powering progress. There's a new weapon to fight cancer. Advanced radiation technology that targets cancer with pinpoint accuracy in as little as 1 treatment. No surgery, no pain, and no hospital stay. In Westchester, it's only available at the White Plains Hospital Center for Cancer Care. The Variant Edge stereotactic radiosurgery system. It's surgical precision without the incision. White Plains Hospital. Exceptional every day. Visit wphospital.org/edge.
Wins News Time at 2:45 from the WFAN Sports Desk. Here's John Minko.
Susan, comes down to this. Yanks need a win against the Astros tonight at the stadium to simply prolong their season. The Yankees trail Houston 3-1 in the American League Championship Series. Game 5 tonight. Last night, Yankees 0-for-7 with runners in scoring position, 4-for-27 in the 4 games, 1-for-16 in the 3 losses. Yankee right fielder Aaron Judge on why this is happening.
It's just tough to say. I can't really talk for everybody, but the biggest thing, what made this team so good is we control the zone. Like I told you guys about 18,000 times, what makes us good is we control the zone and do damage when we get pitches in the zone. So we just got to go back to doing that and just keep playing baseball.
I like it. James Paxton, Justin Verlander, your starters tonight. Yankee playoff baseball on the Fan at 6:25. Couple of rookie quarterbacks Sunday at MetLife as the Giants take on the Cardinals. Of course, there's Daniel Jones of the Giants and the Arizona quarterback is Kyler Murray, #1 overall selection in the NFL draft. Giants running back Saquon Barkley not listed on the injury report today, so he is cleared to play Sunday against Arizona. Jet center Ryan Khalil injured a shoulder during practice yesterday. Could miss the game against the Pats Monday night. Dislocated kneecap keeps quarterback Patrick Mahomes. He expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Sports at 15 and 45 around the clock. John Minko, 1010, Win Sports.
52 degrees at the start of the Yankee game tonight, then clear and cold overnight, down to 42 in town, mid-30s in areas north and west. It's 58 now. Winds news time at 2:47. Zantac pulled off the shelf. That's next.
I'm Dr. Bob Arnott, and I treat pain with Salon Pause. Before you take anything for back or joint pain, I recommend applying topical pain relievers first, like Salon Pause lidocaine patch. Salon Pause lidocaine contains the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. It blocks pain receptors, providing effective, long-lasting, and non-addictive relief. Also available in roll-on or cream. Look for the silver Salon Pause box in the pain relief aisle. Salon Pause, it's good medicine. An official message from Medicare.
It's open enrollment, Fred. Time to compare plans.
Oh, Alice, we're fine with what we have.
Well, that's what the Johnsons thought until they tried Medicare's new Plan Finder.
The Johnsons, huh? We saved on our prescription costs and got extra benefits.
Come on, Fred. Maybe we'll find something better.
Plans change every year. Use the new Plan Finder at Medicare.gov to compare health and drug plans. Open enrollment ends December 7th.
What do you know? Comparing plans really pays.
Winds news time at 2:48. New cancer concerns have prompted the maker of the popular heartburn drug Zantac to pull it off store shelves. Correspondent Chuck Sievertson has details.
U.S. and European regulators were notified by an online pharmacy about it, and testing by the U.S. FDA found contamination in samples of Zantac with a potentially cancer-causing substance called NDMA. Then major retailers and pharmacy chains, including Walmart, CVS, and Rite Aid, suspended sales, and now the heartburn drug's French maker, Sanofi, is recalling the medication.
Sanofi says this recall is a precautionary measure. Johnson & Johnson is recalling some of its baby powder. That's after the Food and Drug Administration found trace amounts of asbestos in samples taken from a bottle purchased online. Johnson & Johnson says it cannot confirm if this was a false positive or even if it might have been a counterfeit bottle of their product. Nevertheless, they're recalling one lot of bottles that were produced and shipped in the U.S. in 2018. The lot number is 22318RB. The funeral is today for Chuan Kok, the 84-year-old homeless man who was one of 4 men beaten to death earlier this month in Chinatown. This morning, a protest on the steps of City Hall demanding more action to end homelessness in New York City.
The murders of 4 vulnerable men sleeping on the street happened in Assemblywoman Yulin News District. She says the city and state need to take a different approach to the crisis because the current one isn't working.
Housing prices now are insanely high. People who have full-time jobs are homeless.
And so are a lot of children. Charles King with Housing Work says he's all for the mayor's universal pre-K plan for every child, but
if that little girl's family is homeless, universal pre-K isn't going to change her circumstances or the circumstances of her family.
Advocates here say Mayor de Blasio needs to focus not on shelters and temporary housing, but permanent and truly affordable housing. One plan calls for 24,000 units spread out throughout the city in new construction buildings. Sonia Rincon, 1010 Wins at City Hall.
Winds news time 2:50. One day after Vice President Mike Pence announced what he called a 5-day ceasefire in northern Syria, comes word that arrangement is already falling apart. The president of Turkey, though, says that's not so, and President Trump is taking his word for it.
An AP reporter and others in the region saw Turkish shelling and other activity in one border area this morning. The president tweets he spoke with Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who told him the ceasefire agreed to yesterday has not already broken down, that there was minor sniper and mortar fire that was quickly eliminated. The president also says he's just been told some European countries are now for the first time willing to take Islamic State militants who came from their nations, as he's been demanding. Officials here did not immediately say just which countries he meant and exactly what they'd agreed to. Sagar Mangani at the White House.
Winds news time 2:51 from the Ram Trucks Traffic Center. Here's Greg Wright.
Well, we got an in Nassau County, eastbound Long Island Expressway between Searingtown Road and Willis Avenue. This wreck has the right and center knocked out, so the left on HOV, that's all that goes. Eastbound Northern State, and if you're not in a truck, that's where you should be instead. Eastbound Northern State, that'll bunch up again from the Meadowbrook over to 106 67 slow on the southern state eastbound from Eagle Avenue over towards the Seaford Oyster Bay Expressway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The inbound George is all right. Nothing to the outbound side is. We're looking at the Lincoln. It's 15, and outbound side of the Lincoln 45 minutes, over an hour at the outbound Holland. Inbound Holland about 15 from the Skyway, but deal with it. The eastbound Newark Bay extension is standstill getting over to and across the Newark Bay Bridge with a broken down 18-wheeler blocking the left lane. Brooklyn bound Brooklyn Bridge still bad because of construction blocking the left lane. Verrazano's not terrible, but the westbound Staten Island Expressway, it's a crawl all the way from the bridge over to the West Shore. Traffic sponsored by Salino and Barnes Personal Injury Attorneys. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
Injured in a car accident? Don't wait. Call 8. The experienced attorneys at Salino and Barnes have the support and the answers you need.
800-888-8888. Manhattan, Garden City, Melville.
Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Carl Erickson.
All right, Susan, with those gusty winds in place, temperatures creeping up to a high of 59 this afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine overhead, and those winds will gradually diminish tonight, but still rather brisk if you're heading out this evening, and especially for the Yankee game. We have first pitch temperature around 52 with those gusty winds gradually coming on down, and later on tonight, clear skies back down to 42, and plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Nice afternoon with less wind, mild temperatures high near 60, and the cloud cover does increase on Sunday, but I think much of the day is rain-free. It'll take until very late in the day and into Sunday night for some of that rain to break out. Before that, we're up to 61 for a high. Then plenty of sunshine, pleasant weather for Monday, high 68. Currently 57, partly sunny, winds west at 12, gusting to 23 miles per hour. Repeating the current temperature, 57, going up to 59 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Carl Erickson on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Winds News Time 2:53. I'm Susan Richard. Coming up this weekend, you are invited to join me as I MC the 29th annual Tompkins Square Halloween Dog Parade. This is a free event from noon to 3 at the East River Park Amphitheater on Manhattan's Lower East Side. Get there at 11:30, though, if you want your dog to take part in the costume competition. This is going to be a great time, and we've got all the information in the pets section at 1010wins.com, so I hope to see you there. So what else is happening? Let's find out.
1010 Wins, BBSFM, bring us to this weekend.
The original Misfits take to the stage this Saturday at the Garden. See this legendary punk rock band live on stage. The show starts at 7:30. The Jersey City Night Market has arrived. From artisan vendors to international food offerings, all set to the soundtrack of the area's up-and-coming DJs. The festivities begin this Saturday, 4 p.m. at the Journal Square Path Plaza. Ever wonder about all the forgotten parts of the subway system? This Sunday, take a private history tour of the city's underground. The Empire Beneath the Streets Tour, Sunday at 10 a.m. Search Empire Beneath the Streets for more information. I'm Race Taylor, and for a full list, visit 1010wins.com/things to do.
58 degrees now, fair skies, the humidity 45%. The winds are west at 12, gusting to 23 miles per hour. 1010 Winds AccuWeather, mostly clear, cold tonight, 52 degrees at the start of the Yankee game. Then it's going to drop to 42 overnight. Mid-30s areas north and west. Tomorrow, sunny, 60 degrees. It's 58 now. Winds News Time 2:55.
Cancer is a bully, but at the Northwell Health Cancer Institute, we help you fight back. As New York's most experienced cancer team, we treat even the most complex cases, like Jennifer Murphy, who beat breast cancer while she was pregnant. Now Jennifer and her baby are healthy and thriving. We're saving lives, sometimes 2 at a time. That's why more New Yorkers choose us for their cancer care than anyone else. Visit northwell.edu/Cancer Institute. Look north. At Aaron's, we believe good people are all around us. In fact, you hear it on the news all the time.
People formed a human chain to rescue a man during the storm.
That's why Aaron's approves good people other stores won't. Your credit isn't the best? That's fine. Need more time to pay? Let's work it out. Want hundreds of options from top brands? Just list with Aaron's. We even deliver to you for free. Because good people always deserve better. Aaron's. Easy, beautiful, affordable.
Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Winds. Here's Larry Kofsky.
Stocks head into the final hour with prices still modestly lower. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 184. The S&P 500 down 6, and the NASDAQ Composite is down 54. Viacom and the creators of South Park are close to a deal to sell the streaming rights to the animated comedy Sources say as many as a half dozen companies are bidding for the show. The deal could be worth as much as $500 million. Japan's SoftBank reportedly is assembling rescue financing for WeWork, but they value the company at less than $8 billion. That is down from the $47 billion as recently as January. WeWork has been reeling since it scrapped its initial public offering. Technology executive Mark Hurd has died. Hurd was the CEO of 3 major tech companies, most recently co-CEO of Oracle Corporation. He took a leave of absence last month. Hurd previously led NCR and Hewlett-Packard. He was 62. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Larry Kofsky for 1010 Wins.
Don't you hate it when you lease a new car? Take a short drive to the grocery store and bam! Runaway shopping cart crushes your door. You go from new car love to lease and hard. Hey, it's Marcello from Island Toyota with big news that's guaranteed to change the way you lease a car. Lease any new Island Toyota car, truck, or SUV and get no charge wear and tear protection plus a great low payment. That means you don't have to worry about stains on your seats, chips in your windshield, or random dings and dents. It's simple. Lease at Island Toyota, and when you return your car, everything's covered. No surprise expenses. See how low the payments are at IslandToyotaOffers.com. Or buy an Island includes a lifetime warranty on every new Toyota or used vehicle and 2 years of oil changes on new. You heard it right. A lifetime warranty included on any new Toyota or used vehicle plus 2 years of oil changes on new. When you need a car, Island's got your back. IslandToyotaOffers.com. Staten Island.
Wear and tear costs $59. Max coverage $5,000. Non-transferable powertrain warranty. Excludes certain models. Vehicles over 80,000 miles. Electric and commercial. Workers excluded. Ends 10/31/19.
On October 19th, New York Land and Lease will liquidate 7 large acreage parcels in the red-hot Ithaca market. Choose from 30 to 50 acres to be sold off at less than foreclosure prices. Ideal for the sportsman, gentleman farmer, and privacy lovers. Example, 35 acres, woods, $74,900. 50 acres with a stream, $129,900. 30 acres and a private lake, $199,900. Just 7 miles to Ithaca and an Ivy League college lifestyle. Music, restaurants, wineries, entertainment, Cuyahoga Lake. All parcels approved for building. Financing available. 35 acres woods, $74,900. 50 acres stream, $129,900. 30 acres private lake, $199,900. Voted as one of the best places to live in America. 7 miles from Cornell and Ithaca, October 19th. Call 888-LAND-NYS to register or online at 888-LAND-NYS.com for a virtual tour of the land in Ithaca. That's call or click 888-LAND-NYS.com.
Now this message, get $100 in free heating oil at petro.com.
WINS HD, WNWHD3 New York.
A radio.com station.
Winds news time 2:59. 1010 winds AccuWeather, mostly clear and cold tonight. 52 degrees for the first pitch of Game 5 for the big ALCS game with the Yankees tonight, and then 42 degrees overnight in the city, dropping into the mid-30s. Areas north and west and parts of New Jersey and the Hudson Valley. Tomorrow is sunny day, 60 degrees, partly cloudy, 50 tomorrow night. On Sunday, AccuWeather now saying cloudy, chance for rain in the afternoon with a high of 61. And then for Monday looks good, sunshine mixing with clouds and a high of 68. It is 60 now in Newark, 54 up in Brewster, 58 fair skies in Central Park, the humidity 45%, and the winds are west at 12, gusting to 23 miles per hour. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Emma Jimenez is our service aide. Walter Geis is the writer. Justin Schrager's at the editor's desk. I'm Susan Richard.
All the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon, 58 degrees at 3 o'clock on this Friday, October 18th. I'm John Belmont. Here's what's happening. He wrote a letter saying he's out of here after less than 2 years, but now the MTA says Andy Byford is staying on as New York City subway chief. More than a child has been pulled from the water after a boat overturned this afternoon off Rockland County in Haverstraw Bay. Hillary Clinton says the Russians are currently grooming a Democratic presidential hopeful, hinting they may want Tulsi Gabbard to run as a third-party candidate to champion their cause. We may not always have Paris, but Manhattan's last single-screen movie theater is reopening, at least temporarily, to host screenings of the Netflix film Marriage Story. 1010 Winds AccuWeather, sun mixed with clouds this afternoon, a chilly, gusty breeze, and a high of 58.
is John Bickel. Last two games, Yankees 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Game 5, American League Championship Series. Yanks down 3-1 to the Astros. The Rangers and Caps tonight in Washington.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Goski. The stock market starts the final hour with prices still modestly lower. The Dow down 181, and the Nasdaq is down 51.
Wins news time 3:01 from the Rampart Traffic Center. Here's Greg Rice. Now let's go to Staten Island. It is so slow westbound on the Staten Island Expressway right off of the Verrazano all the way over to the West Shore. The worst of the eastbound go is just a bit sluggish right off of the West Shore, getting out towards Victory Boulevard. The Belton Brooklyn bunching up both ways westbound. Rockaway Parkway to the Verrazano, eastbound pretty much from the bridge all the way back towards Erskine Street. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The inbound side of the George, we're looking at no more than 10 to 15 minutes into it across on either level. Lincoln 15 to 20 in, at least 45 on the outbound ride from 11th Avenue. We're getting there. Elsewhere, Holland over an hour outbound from Varick, closer to 45. Elsewhere, inbound Holland, stay with the Skyway, deal with it. The eastbound Newark Bay extension, not where you want to be. There is a broken down 18-wheeler on the Newark Bay Bridge, and that has at least one lane knocked out. Bronx-bound Whitestone, that is getting worse. So is the city-bound Midtown Tunnel. Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge, still all bunched up. Traffic sponsored by Plaza Jewish Community Chapel. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
We at Plaza Jewish Community Chapel would like to remind you that candle lighting is at 5:53 this evening. Good Shabbos and Shabbat Shalom.
He has been driving the New York City subway system for less than 2 years, but after clashing with Governor Cuomo, Politico says Andy Byford resigned last week. However, that's not the end of the story. The MTA has released a statement saying Byford is staying on. He says he and the governor are on the same page, focused on improving day-to-day service for millions of New Yorkers. The report cites a couple of reasons the subway's chief wanted to quit. He's tired of being distracted by having to help organize technology conferences for the governor, and he doesn't want to preside over possible service cuts or layoffs. Wins news time 3:03. First responders on the scene in Haverstraw this afternoon, where a boat overturned in Haverstraw Bay off Rockland County. Details are still sketchy, but authorities say a child has been pulled out of the water and transported to the hospital. So far, no word, though, on the extent of his or her injuries or what caused that boat to overturn in the increasingly cold water. 2 cars, 1 fire, and 3 dead early this morning on Route 80 in New Jersey. 1010 Wins reporter Glenn Schuck on what may have been a head-on crash in Parsippany.
This tricky stretch where Route 80 comes together with 287, 46 not far away either, it's taken more lives. 3, in fact, after this terrible crash at 1:45 in the morning. Eastbound express lanes of 80, exit 45 near Smith Road. Within seconds of the 2 cars' violent collision, both caught fire, one ending up on its side on the highway, the other ablaze in the grassy median. Now, inside that one on the median is where the 3 people were found dead, according to state officials. A 4th person in that other car seriously hurt. Officials say it will take some time now to determine the identities of those who were killed, the cause of the crash, and if speed or alcohol could have played a role here. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, Route 80 in Parsippany.
NYPD is trying to track down 2 men and a woman in a series of jewel heists. Actually, more like street robberies. The men have struck 10 times since late August in Manhattan, Queens, and the Bronx, stealing more than $92,000 worth of jewelry, watches, and cash. Most of the robberies took place in the early morning hours, the most recent Monday in the Inwood section of Manhattan. In 2 incidents, the victims were assaulted. Police have released surveillance images of the suspects. We have them posted at 1010wins.com. 58 degrees fair in New York. We're going down to 42 in Midtown overnight, but here's what we really care about. It's going to be a brisk and chilly evening, and AccuWeather says the first pitch temperature for the Yankees ALCS Game 5 is going to be 52 degrees, and keep wearing those sweatshirts because real fields will be stuck in the 40s right through the game. Wins news time 3:05. Britain's Prince Harry says he is still haunted by the death of his mother, Princess Diana. It was 22 years ago now. He tells Britain's ITV the constant media attention of his life takes him back to the intense media focus that his mother had to endure.
It's the worst reminder of our life as opposed to the best. Being here now 23 years later, trying to finish what she started, Yeah, it will be incredibly emotional, but everything that I do reminds me of her.
Harry and his wife Meghan recently completed a 10-day tour of Africa, and the media were on their tails the entire time. Wednesday News Time 3:06. The White House today trying to explain comments by acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney that President Trump demanded Ukraine investigate the 2016 election in exchange for U.S. aid. House Democrats involved in the impeachment inquiry say Mulvaney's remarks show quid pro quo. The president says Mulvaney later changed his story and explained himself. Republican Congressman Francis Rooney of Florida, who's saying he's concerned about Mulvaney's comments, was asked by reporters today if he thinks they make for an impeachable offense.
I don't know. I want to study it some more. I want to hear the next set of testimony next week from a couple more ambassadors, but it's certainly very, very serious and troubling.
House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy has been defending Mulvaney, saying he clarified that there was no quid pro quo, but Rooney says Mulvaney's comments cannot simply be undone by a follow-up statement. Well, this is slightly less shocking than the Cold War film The Manchurian Candidate, but Hillary Clinton says the Russians are currently grooming a Democratic presidential hopeful to run as a third-party candidate and champion their interests. Today's comment appears to be referring to Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, who's been accused of cozying up to Russia in the past. Clinton is heard on a podcast saying the Russians have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting this candidate so far. Wednesday News Time 3:08. Looks like some rough weather on the way tonight in the southeast.
A tropical storm warning in effect from portions of Florida to Louisiana.
It will be approaching the northern half of Florida and what we call the Big Bend area, probably by late tonight and into the early hours of Saturday.
Meteorologist Anthony Reynes with the National Weather Service says the storm will bring with it high winds.
Probably between 40 to 50 mile an hour at some locations.
Forecasters expect heavy rain and wind along the Gulf Coast first before the storm heads north to the Carolinas and Virginia by the end of the weekend. I'm Clayton Neville.
Samsung's new high-tech fingerprint reader on the latest Galaxy smartphones, the S10 and Galaxy Note 10, has a major flaw. Samsung says the phone can be fooled by the residue left by your fingers on a screen protector, and it's asking users to remove the protectors until Samsung releases a software update. A British woman on social media complained that her husband could unlock her Samsung phone when he placed his thumb on the fingerprint reader. Apparently the screen still had her fingerprint on it. 58 degrees Fahrenheit, or going down to 42 in Midtown overnight. Wednesday News Time 3:09.
Ace is the place with the house for hardware folks. It's Ace's 95th birthday, and we're throwing a party. That's right. Head to your local Ace this Saturday from 11 to 2 for free cake, grilling demos, and great deals. Like free assembly and delivery on grills, $3.99 and up for Ace Rewards members. Plus, get $7 off each gallon of our top Ace brands like Valspar, Clark, and Kensington when you buy 2 or more. Don't miss the Ace 95th birthday event this Saturday from 11 to 2. Limit 14 gallons about at participating stores through October 28th. See store for details. At Capital One, you can open a new savings account in about 5 minutes and earn 5 times the national average. 5 minutes? That's less time than you spend arguing about how to pronounce GIF. Wait, GIF or GIF? Hard G. Less time than you spend trying to stick to your paleo diet. No brownies. No brownies. That's about 5 minutes to earn 5 times the national average savings rate. This is banking reimagined. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Rate comparison based on FDIC national rating. Capital One NA member FDIC.
Wednesday Time 3:10. Here's the gift of me saying traffic and your weather in a minute on 10:10 Winds.
Attention investors, stocks got you sideways, worried about interest rates or recession, not earning a consistent 18 to 21% on your money, then diversify into Class A income properties for cash flow and equity profits. National Realty's Class A property fund includes only prime income-producing new construction properties built far below market value. You're secure, you're diversified with income from multiple properties paying you. You're prioritized in cash flow ahead of us, and substantial bank-appraised equity on prime property backs you. National has a 12-year track record of proven success with over $800 million of property under management and hundreds of repeat accredited investors. Prime Brooklyn, Hoboken, West New York, and Delray Beach income properties support you. Stop losses, diversify from stocks, and get secured returns consistently. Call now for free information. Call 201-210-2727. That's 201-210-2727. And offer to buy or
Other Solid security is only made by our private placement member ID. Read it first and invest wisely. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. National List of Real Estate Development Firm. See us at NRIA.net.
Wednesday's time, 3:11 from the Discount Tire Traffic Center. Here's a great ride. It's just getting bad getting to Holland overall. The inbound Skyway, your Thomas Circle, Jersey City. You got a breakdown blocking the left lane, the eastbound Newark Bay extension of the New Jersey Turnpike atop the Newark Bay Bridge. You got the right lane knocked out with a broken down 18-wheeler. So pick your poison. Getting you to the inbound side of the Holland Tunnel. Outbound side, it is a mess. Over an hour off the Vanderbilt. We're getting there elsewhere. It's a solid 45 at the outbound Lincoln. Inbound 20 to 30. Inbound George is fine. The west side, the least bad way out, only by default. Everything else just happens to be worse. Bronxbound RFK is terrible. You got to get there first. It is another day of a terrible ride in the Grand Central either way over to LaGuardia. The Bronxbound Whitestone is pretty tough, as is the Queensbound side of the Throgs Neck Bridge. Staten Island Expressway slammed west off of the sluggish Verrazano all the way on out towards the West Shore Expressway. Traffic sponsored by Rally Motor Company. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report at 3:21 on 1010 Wins.
This month, change into a new luxury vehicle during the Fall for Rally sales event at Rally Motors. Find out why we've been Long Island's destination for automotive excellence for over 60 years. Visit RallyMotors.com today. Rally Motors, the luxury of simplicity.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast sponsored by NewarkAirport.com/parking. Here is meteorologist Carl Erickson.
All right, John, although not as windy as yesterday, still dealing with those gusty breezes. Those will be with us right through this evening and right through the Yankee game this evening as well. First pitch temperature 52, real cool temperatures in the 40s throughout the game. Then clear, colder overnight as those winds finally diminish at the 42 for a low. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Pretty nice day as we've lost a lot of that wind up to near 60. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, back down to 50, so much milder there. And the cloud cover does increase on Sunday. If you're heading out, looks like we're dry through much of the daytime hours as the rain will hold up until very late in the day, going into the evening, high 61. Then plenty of sunshine returns on Monday. Pretty nice day and warm with a high of 68. Currently it's 57, partly sunny, humidity 47%. Winds northwest at 24 miles per hour. Regain the current temperature 57, go down to 42 in Midtown. The next with the meteorologist Carl Erickson on New York's weather station 1010 Wins.
Wins due time 3:13.
The vacation of your dreams is only a click away. Thanks to NewarkAirport.com/parking and ABM Parking. Register for free on our new online booking system for parking, and you could find yourself enjoying the sandy beaches of Montego Bay, Jamaica, or surrounded by magic at the happiest place in Florida on a 4-day all-expenses paid trip. Plus, now you can get great deals on the closest, most convenient airport parking using our new online booking system. Register today at NewarkAirport.com/parking and be on vacation time in no time.
The following commercial includes the sound of emergency vehicles.
The numbers are staggering. Millions of patients are treated in New York City public hospitals each year, and those numbers are growing. We are the nurses on the front line, providing quality care at our public hospitals day and night. It is essential that there are enough nurses to do our job. Our patients deserve nothing less. Patient care is not a special interest. Paid for by the New York State Nurses Association.
Sports in a minute on 1010 Wins. If you or someone you love has been injured in an accident, call 1-800-LAW-LINE to speak with an experienced personal injury attorney at the law firm of Salmon, Schnorman & Minor. No matter what kind of accident you're involved in, whether while walking, driving, riding, motorcycling, biking, or working, the insurance companies will have lawyers representing their interests. So be sure to hire an experienced personal injury attorney to represent your interests. At the law firm of Salmon, Schnorman & Minor, your case will be personally handled by an experienced injury attorney who will not be just another case number. So call 1-800-LAW-LINE or visit 1-800-LAWLINE.com. If you or someone you love has been injured in any type of accident, including motor vehicles, slips, trips, falls, construction, or wrongful death, call 1-800-LAW-LINE to schedule a free consultation. All cases are handled on a contingency fee. If you don't receive a recovery, you don't pay a fee. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. That's 1-800-LAWLINE. Wednesday's time, 3:15. Gonna be chilly at the stadium this evening, John Mako. Here's hope the Yankees warm up.
No doubt about that. And First of all, John, let me talk about the Yankee lineup tonight. Giancarlo Stanton is back in the lineup. He'll be the DH and be the cleanup hitter. And Aaron Hicks remains in center field and will hit number 5. Brett Gardner has been dropped in the lineup and will hit number 9. Yankees are at risk of failing to make the World Series for an entire decade for the first time since the 1910s. Game 5 American League Championship Series tonight at the Stadium. The Yankees trailing the Astros 3-1. This is Yankee manager Aaron Boone.
Stranger things have certainly happened. A lot stranger. And we need to play a cleaner game, obviously, if we're going to beat a team like that.
Yankee right fielder Aaron Jones.
That's what this team's about. You know, we've had our backs against the wall, all year long, with injuries and setbacks, and things just kind of not rolling our way. So this is nothing new to the team.
And John mentioned opportunities. The Yankees committed 4 errors in game number 4, and they have not hit well with runners in scoring position 0 for their last 13. Jet center Ryan Khalil injured the shoulder during practice Thursday. Could miss the game against the Patriots on Monday night. Giant running back Saquon Barkley not on the injury report, so he is cleared to play against Arizona Sunday. Sports at 15:45 around the clock. John Bitko, 10-10, Good Sports.
Wednesday's time, 3:17. Manhattan's last single-screen movie theater has been given a reprieve. The Paris Place, Paris Theater on West 58th Street, will host screenings of the Netflix film Marriage Story during a special engagement starting November 6th. It's not clear, though, if the reopening is temporary or if the Paris will be staying in business to host future Netflix screenings. For the second Friday in a row, Jane Fonda was arrested today during a climate change protest outside the Capitol building in Washington. Fonda had made it clear before last week's demonstration that she plans to get arrested as many times as it takes to get her point across, saying she can no longer stand by and let our elected officials ignore and empower the industries that are destroying the planet. Profit, her words. She also promised to be at the Capitol every Friday, rain or shine. Fonda's former newsroom co-star Sam Waterston was also arrested during today's protest. He's also with her in Frankie and Grace on Netflix. There's been no word yet on charges. Tickets are now available for the mayor's annual Halloween parties at Gracie Mansion. You can get yours at nyc.gov/Gracie Halloween or by calling 311. The parties are scheduled for October 25th from 5 to 7 p.m., the 26th, 2 to 4 in the afternoon, and the 27th from noon to 3. Tickets are limited, and the event is recommended for families with children between the ages of 6 and 10. 57 degrees, partly sunny in New York, going down to a chilly 42 in Midtown overnight. Wednesday's time, 3:19.
I might be in a wheelchair 10 years from now. You're telling me that it's okay.
After Ray was rear-ended in a serious car accident, his lawyer wasn't giving him any hope.
I was in bad shape. I started getting like electric jolts going down my leg into my ankles and my feet. And a couple times I couldn't write. My hand was shaking so much. I had a fractured vertebrae, herniation in the lumbar and the neck.
And with his lawyer essentially ignoring him.
A friend told me, why don't you give Dan Butterfico a call? Because with Dan Butterfico, I have a second chance, and I just have a better outlook on life because of him.
Now Ray's medical expenses and pain and suffering have all been covered. And if a friend were in the same situation, Ray has some advice.
Dan Butterfico and his associates are dedicated, they're thorough, and they're on the ball. Call Dan up immediately, and he'll guide you.
For a free evaluation of your case, call 1-800-NOW-HURT. 1-800-NOW-HURT. Rebuild your life. The law firm of Daniel Butterfico and Associates. 1-800-NOW-HURT.
The 29th annual Tompkins Square Halloween Dog Parade coming up this Sunday. Our Susan Richard is the MC. Join the fun from 11:30 to 3 at Manhattan's East River Park Amphitheater.
The News Watch never stops. This is 10-10 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 57 degrees at 3:20 on this Friday, October 18th. I'm John Belmont. Here's what's happening. He reportedly said he was quitting last week, but the MTA says Andy Byford is now deciding to stay on as New York City subway
race throughout the contest.
This is John Coach. The Astros head advance to the World Series with a win tonight. Game 5 ALCS, Yanks and Astros at the stadium. Rangers in action tonight on the road against Marlins.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kosky. The stock market continues to slump in the final hour. The Dow lost 160 points. The Nasdaq is down 43.
With due time, 3:21 from the Ramsbrook Traffic Center. Here's Greg Ryan. Well, here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. You look to get out of Queens, look away from the Whitestone Bridge. The northbound Van Wyck Whitestone combo getting you there. It's a crawl from the LI all the way on up Tweederby to the Throgneck is a better way. Queensbound, though, the Whitestone, a prettier ride than the Throgneck. The Queensbound Throgneck, just a mess. The RFK itself is fine. That's not the issue. You got to get there. And out of Queens, the westbound Grand Central, we see a standstill in front of LaGuardia as you try to exit to the airport, and then more company getting on to the Bronxbound RFK. Inbound George is fine, but none of these outbound options are. Lincoln, we're looking at 20 to 30 in, a solid 45 minutes out from 11th. We're getting there elsewhere. Holland, well over an hour out from Varick Street. Inbound Holland, we're getting up towards an hour. Inbound Holland, pick your poison. The Skyway coming up to Tunnelly Circle in Jersey City. You got a breakdown block in the left lane, and the inbound Newark Bay extension on the Newark Bay Bridge still with the broken down wheeler blocking the right lane. Verrazano upper level Staten Island bound, that is a crawl. Traffic sponsored by Aer Lingus. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Wins.
To really see Europe go when others don't. And fly there with Aer Lingus. Our European sale is full of amazing off-season deals to over 20 European cities like Paris, London, Amsterdam and Dublin. Book today at airlingus.com.
He had an excellent reputation when he came here from the Toronto Transit Commission, but he clashed with Governor Cuomo, and now we hear New York City Subway's chief Andy Byford resigned last week. That according to multiple sources talking to Politico. But the MTA has just issued a statement saying Byford is staying on. In his statement, the Subway's chief says the governor and I are on exactly the same page about the need to dramatically improve the transit system, and we now have the plan and funding to do just that. First responders are on the scene in Haverstraw this afternoon, where a boat overturned in Haverstraw Bay off Rockland County. Details still sketchy, but we do know a child has been pulled out of the water and transported to Montefiore Nyack Hospital. We don't know the extent of his or her injuries or what caused that boat to overturn. Wednesday's time, 3:23. Homeless advocates protested at the steps of City Hall this morning to demand Mayor de Blasio do more to end the epidemic of homelessness in the city.
Calling the homeless crisis the most visible sign of structural and political failure, advocates like Vocal New York's Jawanza James Williams accused Mayor de Blasio of breaking his campaign promise.
He promised us New York City would not be two cities. There would be one city united around the dignity, the respect of human beings, and not just those who can afford to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for luxury apartments.
They support a plan for tens of thousands of permanent new low-income housing units citywide, as opposed to temporary housing and shelters. Public advocate Jumani Williams says if the city can afford $9 billion to replace Rikers, it can do this too. That the jails plan has invested more in what happens inside the criminal justice system,
as opposed to what happens to prevent people from coming in the first place.
Sonia Rincon, 1010 Wins at City Hall.
Harrison Baines of the Sacramento Kings and Philadelphia Eagles player Malik Jackson are coming together to pay for the funeral of Alatiana Jefferson. She's the woman, the black woman, who was shot and killed by a white police officer in Dallas last weekend. Barnes described it as a tragic situation. He wants to do something, he says, and he's going to pay 90% of the funeral expenses. Jackson will pay the remainder. It's news time, 3:25. Well, here's to amazing couples. Specifically talking about the Carters, Jimmy and Rosalind Carter had just become the longest couple to have lived in the White House. They were there at, no, let me give you the right number here. Their marriage at 26,765 days in counting. The former president is now 95, she's 92. The Carter Center celebrated the milestone yesterday when Mr. Carter and his bride bested the record held by the late George H.W. Bush and his wife, Barbara. Day 2 of the Chicago teachers' strike. Union spokeswoman Liz Schuler here.
We're seeing all across this country, workers have had enough, and they're standing with their communities to fight back. And I think Chicago is the example that we're focused on now, and we're seeing in every city, working people standing together to get more resources and infrastructure and funding in our schools, but
continue in the nation's third largest school district. Winds News Time 326. Now Bloomberg Money Watch, sponsored by Virgin Atlantic. Here's Larry Kopsky.
The stock market remains on track for a modestly lower close. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 177. The S&P 500 is down 4. The Nasdaq Composite falling 46. The Fed is entering a 2-week quiet period ahead of its next policy meeting, and another interest rate cut looks almost certain. Vice Chair Richard Florida says the Fed will act as appropriate to sustain the expansion as risks remain evident. European Union leaders have approved the appointment of Christine Lagarde as the next president of the European Central Bank. The managing director of the International Monetary Fund will replace Mario Draghi. He held the post since 2011. Drone deliveries of medicine, snacks, and other items are a reality in Christiansburg, Virginia. Wing, owned by Google parent Alphabet, is working with Walgreens on the program. Wing received FDA approval this year to make commercial deliveries by drone. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Larry Costa for 1010 Win.
Now this message, when searching for a car, go to MajorWorld.com, home to thousands of cars. Winds News Time 327.
From Cottonville to Totowa, Morningside Heights to Seaside Heights. If it's happening in your area, it's happening now on 1010 Wins.
If your ideas challenge the status quo, if you've advised people you had no right advising, if you built companies and lost companies and built them again, if you've been called a pillar, a dreamer, an innovator, and a genius, if you thrive in the 11th hour, if you have blown it and completely nailed it in the same day, prepare for your next departure. Virgin Atlantic to London. Business is an adventure.
Hi, this is John Tennant, BMW of Bayside, inviting you to our sales event. This year's event is extra special with incentives on the all-new X7 7-passenger luxury SUV and America's favorite sports sedan, the all-new 330 X-Drive. I promise these two new vehicles, along with the rest of our exhilarating lineup, will not disappoint. Stop by now, take a test drive, meet our management team, and see what the buzz is about. Or shop online 24/7 at bmwbayside.com.
Frontage Clinical Services, located in Secaucus, New Jersey, is looking for participants who are smokers or vapors and would like to take part in a clinical study at their research facility. Just 3 visits. Male and female participants between ages 21 to 65 should call 877-298-9071 weekdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to book an appointment. Upon completing the clinical research trial, each participant may receive up to $800 or $1,100. Call 877-298-9071 to speak with a recruiter to see if you pre-qualify. Frontage Clinical Services, located in Secaucus, New Jersey, is looking for participants who are smokers or vapors and would like to take part in a clinical study at their research facility. Just 3 visits. Male and female participants between ages 21 to 65 should call 877-298-9071 weekdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to book an appointment. Upon completing the clinical research trial, each participant may receive up to $800 or $1,100. Call 877-298-9071 to speak with a recruiter to see if you pre-qualify.
Dell Small Business Technology Advisors can recommend tailored security solutions, including computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, and more. Call an advisor today, 877-BUY-DELL. Thank you, Tech Boy. A brisk and chilly evening, says AccuWeather. We're talking about a first pitch temperature around 52 for the Yankees game. Real feel staying in the 40s throughout the evening. Clear and colder overnight, 42 in the city, dropping into the mid-30s. With areas of frost in the Jersey and Hudson Valley suburbs. Right now it is 57 degrees. I'm John Belmont. Winds News Time 3:30.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Richard. History in space. The first all-female spacewalk took place outside the International Space Station. Later, Christina Koch and Jessica Meir got a phone call from the White House. But as this is a really, really long-distance call, it took a bit of time to connect.
Station, this is President Donald Trump. Do you hear me?
That's great.
Well, the women told the president for them the spacewalk is just their job. However,
We recognize ideas and achievements, and we do, of course, want to give credit to all those that came before us. There's been a lot of
Mr. Trump congratulated the women, calling them brilliant. He went on to say that NASA is now looking to go to Mars with a launch from the moon. The Zantac recall is now official. We'll have that coming up after traffic and AccuWeather. Winds News Time 3:31 from the Ram Trucks Traffic Center. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, the ride on Staten Island only getting worse. Staten Island Expressway, it's a westbound crawl right on the already slow Verrazano all the way to the West Shore Expressway. Here's what you need to know about the rest of the bridges and the tunnels. Inbound side of the George, about 10 to 15 minutes, not a hint of a happy ride home. Solid 30 in building at the inbound Lincoln, outbound side 45 to 60. The worst of it from 11th Avenue, over an hour at the outbound Holland from all approaches. Inbound Holland, you got to pick your poison. Inbound Skyway getting up to Tonelli Circle in Jersey City, you got a broken down car blocking the left lane. And the inbound Newark Bay extension on the Newark Bay Bridge, that's a broken down 18-wheeler, and that sits in the right lane. Whitestone, terrible Bronxtown because of an earlier breakdown. Traffic sponsored by Stu Leonard's now at the Paramus Park Mall. This week at Stu Leonard's Farm Fresh Foods, save big on fresh boneless chicken breasts directly from the Amish country, only $149, save $2.50 a pound. Plus extra large white eggs, just 69 cents a dozen, and extra large seedless red grapes, half price at 99 cents. For more savings, visit StuLeonards.com. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Winds.
Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Carl Erickson.
No, he says we're wrapping up the work week. Perhaps we're heading out here early. Looks like pretty nice weather as far as no precipitation going. Still those gusty winds in place, but at least not as windy as it was yesterday. It will be brisk and chilly through this evening with winds gradually subsiding tonight. First pitch temperature for the Yankees game this evening, 52. Real feels in the 40s with those winds factored in, down to 42 later on tonight. And a pretty nice day tomorrow. Sunshine, not all that much in the way of wind with a high of 60. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, back down to 50. Then the clouds increase on Sunday, but any rain holds up until very late in the day into Sunday night, high 61. Some beautiful weather on Monday, sunshine, high 68. Currently 57, partly sunny, humidity 47%, winds northwest at 24. The current temperature 57, going down to 42 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Carl Erickson on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds.
Autumn in New York, and like the song says, it's good to live it again, except it won't be if you're driving at circles looking for a parking spot. Don't do that. Download Spot Hero and get to your destination faster. Use promo code 1010 and get $10 off your first reservation. Spot Hero.
Winds News Time 3:34. New cancer concerns have prompted the maker of the popular heartburn drug Zantac to pull it off store shelves. Here's correspondent Chuck Sievertson.
U.S. and European regulators were notified by an online pharmacy about it, and testing by the U.S. FDA found contamination in samples of Zantac with a potentially cancer-causing substance called NDMA. Then major retailers and pharmacy chains, including Walmart, CVS, and Rite Aid, suspended sales, and now the heartburn drug's French maker, Sanofi, is recalling the medication.
The FDA said preliminary testing detected NDMA levels equal to or slightly exceeding the amount typically found in foods like cured or grilled meat. Sanofi calls the recall a precautionary measure. Johnson & Johnson is recalling some of its baby powder. That's after the Food and Drug Administration found trace amounts of asbestos in samples taken from a bottle purchased online. The company says there is a possibility this was a false positive, and the product itself may have been counterfeit. Nevertheless, they are recalling one lot of bottles that were produced and shipped in the U.S. in 2018. That lot number is 22318RB. More than 18 years later, the remains of another 9/11 victim have been identified. The city medical examiner says the man is the third person identified this year and the 1,645th of the more than 2,700 people who were reported missing at Ground Zero following the attacks. At the request of the family, the man's name will not be made public. Despite fighting reported today between Turkish forces and the Kurds in northern Syria, President Trump insists the deal brokered by Vice President Mike Pence is holding.
I spoke to President Erdogan of Turkey. We're doing very, very well with Turkey. There's a ceasefire or a pause or whatever you want to call it. There was some sniper fire this morning. There was mortar fire this morning that was eliminated quickly.
Turkey agreed to halt its incursion for 5 days to give Kurdish forces, who had been previously backed by the United States, time to withdraw. But the Kurds say they never agreed to leave, and they believe Turkey is engaging in ethnic cleansing. President Trump ordered U.S. troops to withdraw from the region without notifying the Kurds, who have been fighting ISIS on our behalf for years. That prompted criticism from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Wins News Time 3:35, so imagine being paid to watch Avengers Endgame. The website review.org is seeking what it describes as the biggest, baddest Disney fan. Your job to watch 30 of your favorite movies and TV shows on the Disney Plus streaming service, and then write reviews. 5 candidates will be paid $1,000 to do this. The application's available on review.org. The website notes that the promotion is not affiliated with Disney. 57 degrees and partly sunny, going down to 42 in Midtown. Wins News Time 3:36. Hollywood is mourning a loss. 1010 Wins Entertainment next.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities. Or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A road test using SAE 5W30. Get a $100 travel reward credit with a full synthetic oil change to October 31st, 2019. Terms apply. Visit pennzoil.com/travel-on.
Hi, I'm Steve Harris, founder of Harris Law. When Sarah had an unusually severe headache, she went to the ER. Discharged without medication, treatment, or instructions for follow-up care, she later suffered a stroke and permanent brain damage. At Harris Law, we got her $6 million. I'll tell you how right after this.
Have you been the victim of negligence or malpractice? Harris Law, New York's premier injury law firm, is a tough, dedicated legal team that will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call 212-593-7600 or visit harrislawnyc.com.
At Harris Law, we had a team of medical experts review Sarah's case history. They found that she had been misdiagnosed at the hospital. Had she received appropriate care, her stroke could have been prevented. That's how we proved medical malpractice, and that's how we got Sarah $6 million.
Call Harris Law today, 212-593-7600 or harrislawnyc.com. The consultation is free. The compensation could be millions.
Wins News Time 3:38. In 1010 Wins Entertainment, actor Bill Macy has died. During his long career on the stage and screen, Macy's credits included O Calcutta, My Favorite Movie, How I Met Your Mother, and Seinfeld. But he's perhaps best known as Walter Finley on the popular 70s sitcom Maude.
I'm tired of hearing that. I am not argumentative. When I drink, I'm a pussy forget.
One more meow, pussycat, and I'm going to have you altered.
Macy died last night at his home in Los Angeles. He was 97. Wins News Time 3:39.
9/11. Were you there? Did you know the 9/11 Compensation Fund is not just for first responders? Downtown workers, residents, and students may be eligible too. If you or a family member were in downtown Manhattan between September 11th, 01 and May 30th, 02 and have developed cancer, breathing, or digestive issues, you may be eligible for a cash award and lifetime health care. Call the experienced 9/11 lawyers, Turley, Hansen, and Rosasco at 1-855-WTC-INFO for a free claim review. Not currently sick, but worried you could be in the future? Let Turley, Hansen, and Rosasco protect your rights. We'll register you with the fund for free, right over the phone. No obligation. For peace of mind and a free 9/11 fund registration or claim review, call 1-855-WTC-INFO or 911cancerclaim.com. Turley, Hansen, and Rosasco, LLP, 767 3rd Avenue, Manhattan. Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The 29th Annual Tompkins Square Halloween Dog Parade coming up this Sunday, and I get to MC. Join me for all the fun from 11:30 to 3 at Manhattan's East River Park Amphitheater.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 57 degrees. It is 3:40 on this Friday, October 18th. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. NYC Transit President Andy Byford takes back his letter of resignation and says all is well between him and Governor Cuomo. Still no word on the cause of the fiery crash in Parsippany overnight that left 3 people dead. Mexican forces briefly detained the son of drug lord El Chapo Guzman, but then let him go. We'll tell you why. And a selfie stunt gets a woman barred for life from Royal Caribbean Cruises. 1010 Wins AccuWeather clear and cold tonight, down to 42.
This is John Binko. It's a Game 5 tonight at the stadium. Yanks down 3-1 to the Astros in the American League Championship Series. Rangers skate in Washington. Knicks and Nets for preseason games tonight.
I'm Bloomberg's Larry Kofsky. The stock market holding steady with a modest loss as we head toward the bell.
A little less than 20 minutes left, and the Dow is down 195. The Nasdaq down 49.
Wins News Time 341. Now traffic and transit. Here's Greg Ray.
Out of Queens into Nassau, it's terrible, but it should get a little bit better right now. Eastbound side of the L line bunched up from Maurice Avenue all the way out to Willis Avenue because of an earlier wreck that had 2 lanes knocked out. Everyone opted for the Grand Central Northern State combo instead, and that got just as bad all the way on out. Southern State, as we round out Long Island's Big Three, we see eastbound company from Valley Stream over towards the area of the Bethpage State Parkway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound side of the George Washington Bridge, you got about 15 minutes to either level. We're looking at the outbound approaches. There is not a good one to be had at this point. Lincoln 30 in, outbound side at least 45 from 11, a little better elsewhere. 60 to 90 now at the outbound Holland. Inbound side, pick your poison. The Skyway's got a breakdown inbound your Tonaway Circle in the left lane. There's a broken down 18-wheeler on the eastbound Newark Bay extension at the Newark Bay Bridge. That sits in the right lane. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report at 3:51 on 1010 Wins.
NYC Transit President Andy Byford is not quitting. Politico said he handed in his resignation last week because he's at odds with Governor Cuomo. Well, now comes a statement from the MTA saying that's been rescinded. Byford himself issued a statement saying he's not going anywhere and remains laser-focused on improving day-to-day service for millions of New Yorkers and delivering a transformed transit network. As for the governor, he says he and Cuomo are on, quote, exactly the same page about the need to dramatically improve the transit system in New York, and we now have the plan and the funding to do that. A spokesperson for the governor had no immediate comment. A fiery crash in Morris County overnight has left 3 people dead and a 4th in the hospital.
2 burned out and completely destroyed cars towed away in a flatbed about 7:30 this morning from the scene, nearly 6 hours after this horrific collision in the express lanes of eastbound Route 80. Both cars immediately catching fire. One ended up on its side in the highway, the other on fire in the grassy median. Jersey State Police saying that car in the median is where 3 people were found dead inside. A 4th person is in serious condition. The state police adding that it'll take some time to determine the identities of those who lost their lives here. The cause of the crash unknown either. Speed or alcohol was a factor. They'll know that eventually, but for now, we know 3 people have been killed here. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, Route 80, exit 45 near Smith Road in Parsippany.
A suspect is now in custody in the cold case killings of 2 teenagers in Manhattan. The NYPD and federal agents arrested 45-year-old Ramon Solar in the shooting deaths of Ricky Santiago and Christopher Toro, both 17, on an East Harlem rooftop in 1995. Authorities say the killings were over a heroin deal gone bad. Federal Attorney Jeff Berman said he hopes the arrest brings some measure of comfort to the victims' families. Wins News Time 3:44.
Visit Torno for the widest selection of luxury watches, featuring a vast collection of styles from nearly 40 brands. Torno, now located at 601 Madison Avenue, 510 Madison Avenue, 3 Bryant Park, Walt Whitman Mall, Roosevelt Field Mall, and the Westchester. For a limited time only, 30 months special financing available. Some restrictions apply. Visit your nearest Torno store or torno.com for more details. Sales event at Mercedes-Benz Phoenix. Get 1.99% finance and a 3-month free check.
Hi, this is Lou, Laser General Manager. We have over 100 pre-owned vehicles ready for immediate delivery. Plus, come in and check out the all-new 2020 GLS available with captain's care.
Mercedes-Benz and Greenwich, where the relationship is everything. Financing available on select models with approved credit. 2-month payment up to $1,500. See dealer for details. Expires 10/31/19.
Wins News Time 3:45 now. 1010 Wins Sports, sponsored by NYU Winthrop Hospital. From the WFAN Sports Desk, here's John Minko.
That's it from the Yankee lineup tonight. Giancarlo Stanton returns. He is the DH and will hit cleanup. Aaron Hicks in center field will hit number 5. They're falling behind the Astros 2 games to 1 in the American League Championship Series. We'll put it this way: the Yankees played poorly last night. 4 errors, 13 strikeouts, 10 runners left on base. It's a game 5 tonight. The Yankees facing elimination. The Yankee right fielder Aaron Jones.
All year long, with injuries and setbacks
This is Bobby Brown improvement. We're going to break through and have success. We've had our chances here these last few days. We've got to come up with a big win, a big spot.
his team against Arizona. He was not listed on Coach Pat Turner's final injury report today. His quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, escaping significant damage to ligaments, and when he dislocated his right kneecap against the Broncos last night, he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks. Sports at 15:45 around the clock down to 10:10. Wind Sports.
57 degrees. It is partly sunny. The humidity 47%. Winds west at 12 miles per hour. 57 going down to 42 in Central Park. Winds news time at 3:47. The White House does damage control over the latest impeachment drama. That's next.
John Elliott has been on the water for most of his 91 years. In all 3 theaters during World War II. As a merchant seaman, and for the last 70 years sailing at the Rockaway Point Yacht Club. But recently, John was so fatigued and short of breath, he could only walk a few steps.
I thought maybe old age was catching up with me.
To deal with. He's got a number of things that he's got to do to address this community in more aggressive and more clear ways if he hopes to make any kind of real inroads there.
Elena Schneider, national politics reporter for Politico.
Tips for stories, or if you just want to connect with us, tweet us at The Takeaway or give us a call at 8778-MY-TAKE.
Support for WNYC comes from the world premiere on Broadway of Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. Jeff Daniels is Atticus Finch in this new play by Aaron Sorkin. New block of tickets on sale through September 6, 2020. Rutgers University Continuing Studies, offering online opportunities for professional development and for fully online degrees. Rutgers, your lifelong learning partner. More info at lifelonglearning.rutgers.edu. Social media, Cummings is being remembered as the kind of politician who reached across the aisle. Congressman Mark Meadows, a Republican from North Carolina, tweeted, "There is no stronger advocate and no better friend than Elijah Cummings. I'm heartbroken for his wonderful family and staff. Please pray for them. I will miss him deeply." And here's Senator Lindsey Graham.
He was a good man. If you disagreed with him, that was okay, because he would help you where he could. I think he represented sort of the best of what a congressman is like. He always never left his people behind, and he always tried to work with people that were different.
Democrats and Republicans alike paid tribute to him on the House floor on Thursday.
It's a sad day for this institution, and it is a sad day for me. As many times, he'd be an adversary. He was a respected adversary because he was tough.
He believed in the promise of America because he had lived it.
When I approached Mr. Cummings, he didn't ask me what party I was in. He didn't ask me what my political philosophies were. But he didn't care about partisanship. I can't tell you how many friends would call me and be in fear because they got a letter from Cummings. He belonged to this Congress, Republicans and Democrats, and he belonged to the nation. World peace. Well, there was world peace.
A few of his colleagues in the House shared their stories and thoughts with us.
Most poignant memory of Chairman Elijah Cummings was when we were discussing
Cummings was grace and generosity personified. Every day, in ways often unseen, he worked to lift up every voice. His love for the people of Baltimore and the entire country will live on through his work and the community he helped to build. May his incredible legacy bring comfort to his family, friends, and dedicated staff.
Hi, this is Congressman Mark Green. I just want to share an intimate reflection of Elijah Cummings. I had cancer, and of course he was struggling with health issues. We had many conversations about just the frailty of life.
The Nationals await the winner of the Yankees-Astros ALCS. Houston is taking command of the series, leading 3-1. Game 5 tonight in the Bronx. Paxton and Verlander, your starters, as the Houston offensive stars have thrived, like Altuve, Springer, Correa, and Brantley. With game-changing hits, the Yankees' star-studded lineup has struggled. The Astros pitching, led by Verlander and Garrett Cole, have been better than the Yankees' bullpen-dominated staff. The Yanks have been awful with runners in scoring position, have not been able to come up with the big-timely hit to get their offensive mojo going, and Houston has. It's hard to envision the Yankees coming back and winning this series. Hard to see them winning tonight. If and when the Yankees fall, it will be a collective effort for GM Brian Cashman. He walked through an offseason with a roster built for regular season success and marked by October disappointment. If this postseason has shown you anything, dominant pitching proves advantageous. I'm Mark Malusis.
How do you explain the joy of getting any size soft drink for just $1 from McDonald's? Well, it's like... Yeah, like that. Get $1 any size soft drink from McDonald's. Joy included. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or couple meal.
Head clogged with sinus pressure, congestion, and a stuffy nose? The worst. But you can get fast relief from Vicks Sidex nasal spray. It works in seconds and lasts for 12 hours. 12 hours! So breathe freely, fast with the Vicks Sidex. Use as directed. Head clogged with sinus pressure, congestion, and a stuffy nose? The worst. But you can get fast relief from Vicks Sidex nasal spray. It works in seconds and lasts for 12 hours. 12 hours! So breathe freely, fast with the Vicks Sidex. Use as directed.
Friday night, Joe Bonamassa, hailed as one of the world's greatest guitar players. Live in concert on Thursday, November 14th, Friday, November 15th, and Saturday, November 16th at the Beacon Theater. Tickets on sale now at the venue box office and at Ticketmaster.com. Joe Bonamassa. This is your chance to experience the guitar event of the year. Where can you find some of the biggest deals in the city? Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Manhattan. And this fall, the deals are bigger than ever during Jeep Adventure Days. Hurry in today and lease one of our all-new 2019 Jeeps at an amazingly low price. Take home a new Jeep Compass Latitude, Jeep Grand Cherokee, and much more. Get city status, not prices. Elevate to elite at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Manhattan. Visit nycjeep.com today.
The phone company is ripping off business owners every month with hidden fees and sneaky surcharges. Take a look at your phone bill and see for yourself.
Verizon is taking me for an extra $25 in taxes and fees per line. That's not okay.
Frontier snuck in an extended area service charge. Not cool.
CenturyLink stuck me with an extra $40 in taxes and fees. Who do they think they are?
AT&T got me with a cost assessment charge. What's that? Spectrum Business is different because the price you see is the price you pay. So when Spectrum Business says you can get their best offer ever for business phone at just $19.99 a month when bundled with internet, that's all you'll pay. No added phone taxes, no hidden fees.
At that price, I could cut my phone bill in half.
Stop getting ripped off. Call Spectrum Business today at 844-949-0707. Single
the game and now believe in the team, PropSwap is your second chance. Go to PropSwap.com and find a seller who listed his ticket. You can even buy listed tickets during the game. Did you make a bet too soon? Sell it on PropSwap and turn it into cash. There's no rules, only big opportunities. PropSwap is America's marketplace to buy and sell sports wagers. Visit PropSwap.com.
The Open Road Mazda model year-end sales event is on at our two convenient locations in East Brunswick and Morristown. Save thousands on over 500 2019 Mazdas in stock. Lease the all-wheel drive 2019 Mazda CX-5 Sport for only $169 a month. Hurry, these model year-end deals end soon. Visit Open Road Mazda at East Brunswick on Route 18 and Open Road Mazda of Morristown on Bridgedale Ave. Click, shop, we deliver at OpenRoadMazda.com. Due at 94,863. Call 877-7233 for details.
When William Hill started his own sportsbook in 1934, he didn't just use any name, he used his own. He wanted people to know that behind every bet there was a name you can count on. When you're looking to bet and feeling confident on multiple games, try a parlay and maximize your experience. Sportsbook, William Hill, America's #1 sportsbook. Simply download the app or visit WilliamHill.com and use the promo code PARLAY and get a special offer when you sign up. 21 plus only, must be physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Lexus of Englewood, the fall savings drive is on. You were smart to wait. Now get your drive on to Lexus of Englewood. Lease a new 2019 Lexus ES sedan for just $369 a month, or new Lexus RX all-wheel drive SUV only $389. Plenty of certified pre-owned Lexus models available with low 2.9% APR for up to 60 months. The fall savings drive at Lexus of Englewood, minutes from the Meadowlands and GWB at 53 Engle Street. Experience amazing. 1-800-NEW-LEXUS at LexusofEnglewood.com. 36-month lease details at LexusofEnglewood.com.
Time for another Action Network flash. Chicago hosts New Orleans on Sunday with roughly 70% of the tickets and money on the under 38.5. For all the betting info, download the free Action Network app today.
WFAN and WFAN-FM New York, a radio.com sports station.
All right, we're back. We're going to get a couple calls in here. You'll hear I'll be in the interview room at about 15 minutes from now. It's 4 o'clock. Let me first give away a pair of Giant tickets here for Sunday. It's Football Friday on the Fan. We're giving away tickets to see the Giants take on Arizona this Sunday at MetLife. If you'd like to be there, this hour's winner, be the fifth caller at 866-5940 WFAN. To be listening in the 5 o'clock hour for your chance to win. So Giant tickets coming up this afternoon. And like I said, Boone will be in the interview room in about 15 minutes as the Yankees try to stave off elimination against Verlander this evening. Joe in Connecticut, what's up, Joe?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's happening?
A couple points. Agree with you 100%. You're not going to change the business model at this point. You know, they were built around big, average, starters and a great bullpen, and you're not going to change that tonight. So, agree with you on that. The other thing is, the A-Rod nonsense. I mean, I realize he's a fragile psyche, and I'm sure it bothered him when Torrey dropped him from number 4.
Well, dropping him to 8. Joe was wrong, and Joe even told me he thought he was wrong afterwards. Not only, you're talking about a player who was one of the greatest players of all time, but also everything was a media circus. It was going to create so much confusion on a team that it was too much about that. So that's why he thought it was a mistake to do, because it drew enormous attention and created more controversy than that team needed. It didn't need that. Every move A-Rod made was a huge move. No one's paying attention. Instead, he just said, look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers thought they were a stone cold lot to go to the World Series this year. And look what happened. They got a lead. They put Kershaw out there. He gives up 2 home runs, and they wound up going home.
Hey, great. Hey, just one question for you. The Yankees, this Yankee team, I'm talking about the Yankee team in the last 3 years, for the Judge and the Yankees. They have not proven, forget about winning the series, do they even have the heart just to win a game tonight like this? I know it's what they I don't know.
That's a good question. It's a good question. They haven't shot time and go out, and it's not something I love. They were very big in the regular season to be thumping their chests and savages in the box and all the other nonsense and the T-shirts and everything else. You know what? That's easy when you're beating on the Oriole bullpen, okay, or the Tiger bullpen, and you're scoring, 9 runs on that bullpen every night. That's easy, okay? Now, show me that you're savages in the box. Now show me you can pound your chest. Go pound your
your chest against Verlander tonight. Then you showed me something. And you want to see a little of that tonight. And you also want to see if this group, who's going to lead the way with that? Who's going to lead them into that tonight? You need that. You need somebody to lead them into that tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see. So I'll be there tonight, and I'll be watching to see if they have any grit. And you're right, this group hasn't shown us any grit yet. They really haven't. So I agree with you. I think that's a very good point. Bob and Summit, what's up, Bob?
To be a football analogy, I'm going to tie it into the Yankees. If you remember in the late 80s, Bill Walsh drafted a guy, Steve Wallace. He was a very athletic offensive lineman. The reason he did it was only to lock Lawrence Taylor in the NFC Championship game. Which was on top of it. 100 wins is what remains to baseball. The question the Yankees fan has to ask themselves is, when Cashman built this team, is he building it to win the ALCS or to win 100 games?
You can't win it. You can't build a team to win in the ALCS. You got to build a team to win in the regular season. There's no, because the things you're going to build are not going to automatically win. You got to hit the clutch, and there's no way to build a team that you can automatically tell you is going to hit the clutch.
My point. The 100 wins are my generation. I'm in my 50s. That's the old 93-95. Like 3 teams in the American League this year that basically were double-A baseball teams.
But it doesn't matter. The idea is through the regular season, no matter what, the numbers are relevant. The number is irrelevant. The idea is, though, Bob, you asked the question, and it's an easy answer. The answer is no. You cannot build a team that you can guarantee will perform in the postseason. It does not exist.
But when you look at Carcione, and you're going to tell me that's the kind of bat that you want the way that guy just
The guy has been a very good postseason player his whole life.
Mike is going up against 3 young winners.
Yeah, but you know what? He's been a very good postseason player his whole life. I mean, he's not the only one not hitting right now. There's a lot of them not hitting right now. So, you know, what my point is, listen, they put him in there because, hey, and he devoured Minnesota pitching, and that was all great, okay? Because he went up there, he ran up there, he was beating them, but everything he hit was a rocket ship. And thanks for the ball off Minnesota. Everything was, and that's the playoffs, and everything was a rocket ship. And then you get to this series, and they're pitching into oblivion. Well, they raised the level here. But the question you've asked is a question that has been asked 100 times. And the answer is, the postseason is always going to be a little bit random. It's a short sample, and it's high stakes. And the idea that, yes, there's guys, like you can go get a guy who's going to perform well in the postseason, who's got a postseason reputation, and bring him here, and he'll perform well in the postseason. I can believe that. So if the Yankees, should the Yankees be after Bumgarner? I say yes. Because the thing you want him for is to lead you in the postseason, and that's when he's at his best. So I'd be after him for that reason. And I don't care if he's great for the postseason. I just want him to the postseason for the postseason. And he's not going to go to the 40 million What's up, Anthony? Sorry. What's happening?
I was actually going to call and comment about potentially batting tonight for Encarnacion.
Yeah, I think we all want to see it, and he kind of hinted yesterday that he could DH today, so I expected to see it, and we have it, so he's there batting cleanup.
Yeah, going off of last night, you know.
And isn't it ironic that the Yankees are now staking their hopes on Stanton when every call I got for 2 weeks didn't want him in the lineup?
Right, and I wasn't one of those people that wanted someone like Hoffman and Ford to be in the lineup, but I mean, if you have Stanton on the bench, and they're telling you that he's able to hit, you know, now I guess would be the time to do it the way the offense has been looking.
And if Stanton wants to become a Yankee, tonight's a good night to do it. Go out there tonight, lead the way tonight. Go out there tonight and win this game for the Yankees on your own.
Yeah, and also last night you mentioned that one of the biggest hits of the game was the 3-run home run, I believe in the 3rd inning.
Yes.
You know, and it was a huge moment, but I was watching it on TV, and I don't know if you were at the stadium watching the game. When Torres and both struck out, the look on that team's face going into that situation, game. I would make the argument that moment may have been the biggest moment.
I think both, but I can tell you this. Sitting in the stadium where I was, the stadium was very loud. And everyone was up and up and up. That first home run took the life out of the stadium. It took the air right out of the stadium.
And even if it was being down 2-1,
because it was the third, and it was 8-9. 8-9-1 coming up. He got through the first two innings. It was 8-9-1, and he walks the eighth batter. And you're like, like that. And Reddick bothers me in Yankee Stadium. He does. Because he's got a perfect, he's not a big-time player, but he's got a perfect Yankee Stadium swing. So those guys, and it's got a perfect. Some guys would be great here. It's not like he'd be perfect here. He'd double his home run total if he came here because he's just grooved. He's got a groove swing. There are certain guys who, like Mercer did. They have a groove swing for the stadium. He's got a groove swing for the stadium. So he scares me. And he got the little bleeder into the outfield. Now it's first and second. And here comes Springer. And I'm saying, Tanaka's got to bat down and get a double play. And, that inning, remember, it was after that, it was first and third, no out. Tanaka got out of it.
He did a very good job.
And I thought that maybe would give him a lift. And then they didn't build on that because Tanaka did a nice job because it was first and third. After that, no out. Because Altuve beats out the ground ball to short. And now it's first and third, no out. And you're like, oh man, this is going to be 5-1, 6-1. And he gets out of it. And you say, wow, there's a lift. And they don't build on that. You got to build on it. And when you get these at-bats, when they got first and second, what they do last night, they hit home runs. And you hit 3 bombs, man.
You're only down 2 runs, 3-1, but it's not like you're down 8-1 because the one that they manufactured wasn't even a hit. They walked them, breaking it.
And the bomb, and 3-run homers, they are, they're daggers. They're daggers. You cannot overcome 3-run home runs. Peter in Park Ridge, what's up, Peter?
Mike, how you doing?
Good, what's happening?
I'm watching these games, and as an overall Yankee fan, with the exception of Ottavino, I think the pitching staff has done what they're supposed to do. They've checked us in every game. Cole and Verlander, we had the opportunity to beat them because we got men on base. They haven't just shut us down like they've been doing everybody else. So my question, there's a couple callers ago touched on it. The swagger, the bravado that the team has had all year, the confidence just doesn't seem to be there. They at the plate, Judge and LeMahieu, they're hitting. Torres had a great first game, but nobody's making contact. And I'm just kind of, where is this coming from? And I know it's going to happen in the playoffs that the team just gets cold, but the whole team up and down the lineup just missing opportunities is it's challenging.
Hey, listen, I hate to tell you, but I've seen this movie before.
I know.
We've seen this before. We've seen this before. And remember, they opened up this year, and now they got 30 runs in their first 4 playoff games, and they're 4-0, and everything's a magic carpet ride, and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, now they're down 3 games to 1. Thanks for the call. Back after this.
Yeah.
Hey, Jersey, the football season is heating up, and BetAmerica is offering you a risk-free bet up to $1,000 to bet on your team or against your rivals. Bet on the money line or the spread. Bet on totals or the futures. And get up to $1,000 back if your first bet loses. Bet now at BetAmerica. America's Sportsbook. 21 plus only. Up to $1,000 given in bonus funds. Must be physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
Live from the Town Fair Tire Studio, it's Mike's On. Powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
FanDuel Sportsbook is the place to be when you want to bet on sports, and with the NFL season in full swing, you got to use this risk-free bet if you're a new user. $500 risk-free bet for you if you sign up with promo code GIO, G-I-O. With the Jets and Giants, things haven't gone great early on, but with Daniel Jones as a quarterback, you might be betting on the Giants this weekend and a bunch of other weekends, and maybe you're taking the Giants over for once. You can place a $500 risk-free bet on whatever you want when you use my promo code GIO, G-I-O. Signing up is simple, it's easy to add money to your account, withdraw your winnings whenever you want. And if you lose that first bet, FanDuel Sportsbook is going to refund you in site credit up to $500. That's promo code GIO, G-I-O. Must previously played using your FanDuel issued as site.
Must be in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Gambler.
Hi, I'm the founder and master of Handmade 90s about the credit card pocket.com.
Hi, this is Blaze from Circle Hyundai, and we're going old school with pricing. Buying a 2040 Hyundai Elantra SE for $17,000, which was the MSRP back in 2010.
Besides old school pricing, we have Brutus, the Barber Beefcake here on October 25th for autographs and photos.
Remember, old school pricing on the new 2020 Hyundai Elantra SE and old school wrestlers at Circle Hyundai. We're off exit 109 on the Garden State Parkway or online at circlehyundai.com.
The phone company is ripping off with hidden fees and sneaky surcharges. Take a look at your phone bill.
Who's taking me for an extra $25 in taxes and fees per line? That's not okay.
Frontier snuck in an extended area service charge. Not cool.
CenturyLink stuck me in taxes and fees. Who do they think they are?
AT&T got me with a cost assessment charge. What's that? Business is different because the price you see is the price you pay. So when Spectrum Business says you can get their best offer ever for business phone at just $19.99 a month when bundled with internet, that's all you'll pay. No added phone taxes, no hidden fees.
At that price, I could cut my phone bill in half.
Stop getting ripped off. Call Spectrum Business today at 844-949-0707. Single line comparison. Pricing varies by plan and location. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hey, it's Aaron Moore. When looking for a quality vehicle, I want the best for my wife and kids. Mercedes-Benz of Paramus offered us the best service, best prices, and best selection while giving me the peace of mind I need to bring home a victory for my family.
Mercedes-Benz of Paramus is 0.9% APR on all certified pre-owned vehicles during their CPO sales event. For details, the CBS Sports Minute is brought to you by Winters Bros Waste Systems. Visit wintersbros.com.
This is Brandon Tierney with the CBS Sports Minute sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. And let's be honest here, if you watch any baseball this summer, you know the Yankees were terrific. Terrific in terms of plate discipline and really about as resilient as any team I've seen in a long, long time. As the litany of injuries threatened to derail their season. But a funny along what the defense gives you. And then the League Championship Series started, and all that went out the window. Zero fundamentals, zero energy, no clutch value. The Astros are better. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But limping out like this, going out the side door, it's a punk move. Yankees need to wake up and wake up fast.
This October, it's no trick. A 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil is just $26.99. Plus, get a treat, a $10 Visa gift card. Because the only thing spookier than ghouls and ghosts is engine sludge. That's Mobil 1 5-quart jugs for $26.99 plus $10 back. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How. Napa Know-How. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state local taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Lowe's helps property maintenance pros save on what they need to do the job right. Look up to 35% off select appliance special values. And through our quote support program, you can get discounts on large volume purchases, like 4-piece kitchen suites as low as $1,169. Save every day on 5-gallon pails of Valspar 2000 interior paint starting at $89.98. Plus, get 5% off eligible purchases every day just by using your Lowe's business credit account. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Appliance offers valid through 10/23. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
All right, they're coming in from the Town Fair Tire studio. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Let's listen as his team faces an elimination game to the manager of the Yankees.
What told you Giancarlo Stanton was ready to get back in there, and ultimately why him over Encarnacion?
He was one of them that told me. Just felt good about his progress yesterday. Felt like it was the first day where he made some pretty good progress. Clearly not 100% running. Don't feel like hitting will be an issue for him. Just have to kind of govern himself out on the bases. But, he's been kind of wanting in there the last few days and held off. And then he actually did come by my office last night, and we both kind of said, let's go. And so excited to have him back in there.
The last row on the right.
Coach, right here. Good afternoon. Could you talk about what you told the team today about their discipline with the strike zone and how important that will be against Verlander tonight? What did you tell the team about that and how important is that?
I haven't told them anything today about that. That's always, I think those of you that are around us know that it's something that we talk ad nauseum about, about controlling the strike zone, and something that those guys are very good at and will be important for us moving forward today and on in this series. And if we're going to move on, we've got to be able to do that at a very high level, especially against a pitching staff like the Astros.
First row here on the left, Andy. The defensive infield that you're putting out there in this series is obviously really good and really talented. If you had the chance to maybe sleep on it, do you have any explanation or thoughts of why they had a rough night last night? Maybe there is no answer.
No. I mean, I have a ton of confidence in that group. In the defense, certainly we're running out there again tonight. It's been one of the strengths, certainly in the postseason for us. And we had a bad night last night, and those things, unfortunately happen sometimes. But I have all the confidence moving forward in those guys that they're going to continue to play at a high level.
You worry that the way that game kind of spiraled, some guys just sloppier than usual, had to do with the situation?
I don't know. I mean, that's when you make mistakes. I mean, that's how it looks. But as far as moving forward, confident that these guys will flush it and go out and play like they're capable of tonight.
Far right, Kenny.
Aaron, after the game last night, you were pretty honest about how disappointed you are in your team. And do you remember being more upset or surprised at your team's performance since you took over this job?
I don't know if... I mean, it's obviously a lot on the line, and when we don't play our best, I think everyone gets frustrated at that because we expect a lot of ourselves. I know our guys expect a lot out of themselves. But one thing I know about them, when we have done things at a very high level or had a clunker or not played well, I feel like this team is that I've been around do a very good job of letting yesterday roll off and being hyper-focused on the day, and confident that'll be the case today.
They stay there on the left? I'm sorry, the right. Aaron, Chris.
Could you walk us through the conversation on the mound with CC and Stevie last night and anything you may have talked with them about today?
Yeah, well, we sensed for a couple pitches that maybe he was, he had hurt himself. So I actually called Stevie over. We saw him throw one more pitch, and then we kind of ran out there. And CC just, obviously talked about his shoulder and then said, "But I want to let me throw one and see how it is." And he threw one, and right away you knew that was it. And he and Stevie walked off. So there wasn't a lot of conversation other than, CC's not very dramatic at all about it. It's just threw it and knew that was it. And just kind of, I think, he knows my affection for him. He knows his affection for his teammates and how we all feel about him. And, I think there was, and he and I even kind of laughed about it a little bit, like kind of in a weird way, kind of a perfect way to go out. He's been the ultimate teammate, competitor, gamer, left everything on the field, left everything he had on the mound. And, one of the things I talk about to our guys every now and then about is, give us everything you got. And CC embodied that, and he left it all out there last night.
Ted here in the front, Barry.
Booney, just following up on that, from your perspective as a manager, I think it's always probably difficult to tell people that they're coming off a roster or they're being sent down. How emotionally taxing was that for you to have to talk to CC and basically realizing that this is the end of his career?
emotional, but a lot of happiness and joy in it too. I talked to him in the food room last night. Had a lot of really good comments back and forth with him, and he knows what he means to me and to us. So I think it was some sadness, but also a very happy time, and CeCe will be fine.
Far right, John. As a pitcher, CeCe's obviously used to be
the same. He'll be his presence on the bench, presence in the clubhouse. One of the things about having him in the bullpen is I've missed having him on the bench. Looking over there and hearing him, or hearing his laugh, or hearing his chatter. I'll pass by him every now and then in a game, in the middle of the game, kind of for some levity for myself, and just say something that I noticed happen in the game or in the stadium. So in that way, it'll be nice to have him back on the bench tonight and look over and be able to see him.
You stay right over there, Joe. Aaron, you've been around the game in some form or fashion since you were a boy. I wonder, have you ever come across anyone who was a starting pitcher who was looked at as a leader in his clubhouse, like him, young, old, hitter, pitcher, all backgrounds, etc.?
I don't know at the level that CeCe is. When we're talking about a Hall of Famer, we've been going through this all year. Great things being said about CeCe. I think everyone understands how authentic it is and genuine. He's the best. He's how you would draw it up from a teammate standpoint, from a competitor standpoint. One of the greatest things CeCe has, and I think is one of the greatest things on a human being, is he's kind of dripping with humility. That's real. That's who he is. A lot of people can come across that way. CeCe is that, and it's why I think he's beloved in there, but across the sport and really with anyone he comes in contact with. But as far as a ball player, a competitor, and a teammate, it's hard to draw it up any better than CeCe Sabathia.
Bring it back, Tyler. All right.
Aaron, from a team and a series perspective, when you're down 3-1 and it's going to take a big comeback, do you ever draw off of your own experiences as a player in the postseason, or your father's, or anything that you've seen in the game to know that it is possible at a time like this?
Probably.
How do you?
In fact, Sweeney just reminded me, the Brewers were playing my dad's team in '82. They were down 2-0. They came back and won 3-2. The Red Sox were up, or the Angels, my dad's team, were up 3-1 on the Red Sox in '86, and the Red Sox came back. I remember that well. I remember crying on my couch, watching Game 7 in our house. I know that the Cubs came back from 3-1 against the Indians. Not just our sport, but all kinds of sports are littered with stories that come back. So we know we're certainly capable of that. We got a tough task tonight against a great team and a great pitcher, and we'll look forward to going out and hopefully grabbing one and getting on a plane. Second round right. And it's simmering on outside of it. We'll see. I had some very little conversation on that, and I have but I don't.
Dave, you have left Aaron in Stanton's absence from the surrogacy as he was to the OA surgeon, and hopefully to get a spark out of it.
That's a lot of times what the postseason is, and the playoffs is. You got to take advantage of opportunities. The last few days, we haven't been able to do opportunities. That's ultimately the goal, is to create those opportunities. Now we're breakthrough, and that's hard to do, especially when you're facing good pitching and getting a hit is a failing proposition. But the more opportunities you can create, hopefully we can break through with a couple and get on that plane.
That's Aaron Boone about tonight's game. And everybody can tell you, hey, you know what? We're not going to let this stop. We're going to do what we can do. We're going to win the great over on the mat. Injury Report is brought to you by Hospital for Special Surgery and by the Score Bet, the way betting was meant to be. The injury that rocked the NFL and became a huge story yesterday was one to the really the NFL's new big star in Mahomes. And first, it was reported as a knee dislocation. Now, I know from Doc, being spending many years with Doc, that is a devastating injury, the worst injury you can have. So I'm like thinking that, and then I see that it wasn't. It was a dislocated kneecap, and it's a very different injury than a dislocated knee. But still, it's an injury. So let's get to Dr. Steve O'Brien and bring him in on Mahomes' injury. Doc, welcome. How are you?
Hey, Mike, how are you today?
Hey, Doc, let's start with that. For the folks, give them a little tutorial. Dislocated knee means this, dislocated kneecap means this.
Okay, the kneecap is that circular bone on top of your knee. Dislocations of the kneecap are very common. They can happen in loose-jointed individuals. The bottom of the pile we talked about in the home last night. It's a very different animal. It will not be career-threatening. It probably won't even be season-threatening. As long as there's no other significant injuries with it, which would be like knocking a tip off or injuring the ACL at the same time, or injuring the MCL. When you injure all the ligaments in your knee, the femur and the tibia, the two major bones, they separate. This is a whole different thing. Like you're right, the terminology is confusing. Well, I see this league once or twice a year, and if a guy's not overly loose jointed, and he just got unlucky to be at the bottom of the pile, if he's not unstable, he'll be back playing in 2 or 3 weeks for sure.
Explain to everybody the definition of dislocated knee, and that, which is a devastating injury, but in layman's terms, explain that to them.
Okay, there's 4 major ligaments that connect the lower bone, the tibia to the top bone, the femur, and if you injure all 4 of those ligaments, it is a devastating injury, which some athletes never come back from. Every Bridgewater is a good example. Every Bridgewater dislocated his knee, and unfortunately, although he's doing okay right now, he's never the same bone. A kneecap is just the circular bone going off and coming back on, so it's a very, very different animal, and he probably will be back in 2 to 3 weeks. The thing that I'm not sure of is whether it is the first time he dislocated or not. Whether it is or it's not, if this is something that if it becomes problematic during the season, can be fixed after the season. Now, it's his right leg, not the left leg, so I have no trouble pushing off, but this will definitely convert him into a pocket passer. You will not see him make the move that he makes on the run for this year.
So you think he's probably 2 or 3 weeks away, right?
Yeah, I have back within 1 to 2 weeks. If they're not overly loose jointed, they just got unlucky, it goes pops right back in and entirely stable, and then they go back to play where they can control their leg. In his case, I think he'll be back probably in 2 weeks.
Have you ever seen a quarterback get hurt on it? Have you ever seen a quarterback get hurt like that on a quarterback sneak?
You know what? Never. And you bring up a great point because it makes me think this is the first time he's dislocated his kneecap. Because I looked at the film, it was a very innocuous fall. This was not a major fall, a major slip. So it makes me think this might not have been the first time. And it doesn't change the treatment. You put him in a brace and you bring him back when he feels up to it. He'll be a pocket passer this year, however, and then after the season is something that they can always tighten if they needed to.
All right, so most likely, he did tweet today, all good, meaning no other damage. So sounds like he just dislocated the kneecap. So we're looking 2 or 3 weeks down the road from Mahomes, right? Will you play a brace after that? Back with a brace on?
Yeah, he'll probably play the rest of their career in a light brace, but I'm telling you, the ones out there that like the Kansas City Chiefs, he's going to be a very different quarterback. This will not be an on-the-run Patrick Mahomes. This will be a drop-back passer Patrick Mahomes. That's a different animal. That's going to affect the Chiefs' play.
Interesting. Okay. Let me get to Mosley for a second, because you talked about him missing all these weeks. He did. He's coming back Monday night. Would you worry, since he's been out since game 1, 1, halftime of game 1. Do you feel that's enough time where he is adequately healed now?
Absolutely. It's right in like this. Yeah, they paid homage for the injury. The linebackers were side to side, and they did a great job in keeping him down. Smart.
All right, so do you worry about him re-injuring it, or is he susceptible to re-injuring, or you don't worry about that?
Okay, by virtue of the position play, you worry a little bit because how to play a 12-side movement. But no, that's just 6 weeks. It's going to be completely healed. They handle it effectively.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you for this about this because I wanted to get this week just especially in Mahomes since he's such a big player and everyone was, that was buzzing everywhere. He's getting hurt with the first report was a dislocation in the knee. I'm like, oh my God, here's a devastating injury to this kid. And now we find out that it's just a dislocated kneecap, that obviously is a very, very different deal.
I can tell you the same country. I'm not too sure.
Because the Cardinals next week and then they have the bye week and then who's the back. So the worst thing would be 6-2. But I don't think we're losing, but my God, they are without everybody in that game this week, including Kamara, Cook, and Smith. I mean, they are without so many guys that is unbelievable. I'm shocked that they lose to the Bears without them this week. If they did, I thought that would be something. It really would. We thank God for that. We wanted to squeeze that in. You heard Aaron Boone. We'll be right back. Daily dose of news. As much as you need that first cup of coffee, just download the Radio.com app. Radio.com is your mobile audio connection to the top news sources, including CNN, CBS News Radio, and Bloomberg. Local, national, news. 24 hours a day, free all in one place. And all just a click away. Get the news you want when you want. Radio.com on your desktop or download the free app now.
Do you want shoes made from nature's original luxury superfiber? Then you need new Skechers Washable shoes, made from premium quality wool. To start, will wicks away moisture to help keep you dry and comfortable. And it's also super flexible and extremely breathable. And not only do they keep you cool and comfortable this winter, but Skechers Washable shoes also give you the best to keep you warm and toasty in winter. Plus, they're even washable. Discover the wonders of wool with Skechers Washable shoes at the Skechers store near you. Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Station contest rules. Go to WFAN.com/rules. The drivers and coming to the event to celebrate their grand opening of their new ownership in Sexy Rockwood Place. The all-new Infinity event with the spiritual Meadowlands and the TW Bridge. Call them at 1-800-150 or online at InfinityEventWorld.com. Tire Discount Tire Pros is across the border of the New York City Bridge Network. Locally owned and operated, Tire Discount Tire Pros is a full-service shop with a wide selection of tires by Continental and General Tire. Tire Discount Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. Find out more at DiscountTire.com. Brilliant Action Adventure Days from Rashford Island and Pizzaland. These and all new 2018 are an amazingly low price. Covers, Grand Cherokee, and more. Get city status now prices elevate to elite. Visit nycg.com today. Opening your trip out of time for big carrier of LRD here on the Yankees Radio Network. In your business, anything can happen. But you need a team that has all of it covered. That's why ONG delivers freight on time without them. The best in Northern. Major League Baseball trademarks use this permission.
Users get those Facebook as tons of other awesome promos happen all the time. Any given day, you can find ad boosts, benefits, special bonuses, and more. Plus, when you contract features, offers to kickstart your bet before the game ends. So if you have a feeling that your team's about to blow their lead, you can just cash out and take the reins right then and there. And don't forget, you can place a $500 risk-free bet on any sport when you use my promo code WFAN. Signing up is simple and it's easy to add money to your account or withdraw your winnings whenever you want. Just download the app and bet from anywhere in New Jersey or Pennsylvania. Sign up with promo code
Mercedes-Benz Sprinter is built for you and is built to protect the bottom line. 0% financing. The Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, starting at just $33,790. Gas engine, 0% financing, and starting at $33,790. That's the Sprinter that delivers. Mercedes-Benz. Born to run. America's #1 sportsbook. Simply download the app or visit WilliamHill.com and use the promo code GAMEPLAY for a special offer when you sign up. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey. Gambling.
Ladder Lumber has been satisfying customers with superior customer service and not just a window, for peace of mind. Mention this ad and receive your free gift from Supply Plus.
If they know about facts, great season. Or if they saw that Basil Natural Gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Basil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil, it gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Basil. Basil Sequence 4A mic test using SAE on W3. Get a $100 travel reward credit with a full synthetic oil change for October 31st, 2019. Terms apply. Visit basil.com/travel.
Binghamton Traffic Center and red light for the supplyhouse.com flying highway patrol. Already a mess at the inbound George Road from the 20 on the upper 15 to the lower. The southbound Beacon, you got a standstill from the west Chester line again. And a Yankee traffic is positive and keep in. You got a tail rain this guy on a Friday afternoon. Lincoln 40 and 45 to 60 out. Holland rolling at 30 and 40 into the Skyway because of the stalled bed. On the York extension, outbound Holland 60 to 90 minutes. You got a breakdown on westbound Staten Island Express.
The State Department is notoriously institutional. Their members require skilled nursing, short-term or long-term care. Consider the award-winning care you can. Allied Services meet street skilled nursing now in Luzerne County. So much quality, so much care, so close to home. Learn more at alliedservices.org.
Get off the bench and get into the game. Fox Sports Radio, the game. To find FS1 on your television, foxsports.com for details.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio.
Car shopping can be confusing in terms like dealer price, list price, and invoice price.
car shows up, other people pay for the car you want, you can recognize a good price. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, there's a true cost. Maybe way more confident. Every day this time that I got the trip, Foxborough Premier, every single day of the summer. We pick and choose for you something from the previous show on Foxborough Radio, Foxborough Premier Final. This is a reminder from our Ohio State, Utah Bowling Green head coach, current analyst on, I think he's the best studio analyst in college football. His first year doing the Big Ten show on Fox. He asked about Lincoln. He said, first asked about Lincoln Riley potentially taking the Cowboys job in Oklahoma.
Lincoln Riley, I suggested this week. Dallas Cowboys got different. Jerry Jones has hired Jimmy Johnson out of college, and Barry Switzer wants to go. That's a big jump, okay? Do you think Lincoln Riley, even as great as Oklahoma is, that's a great jump, would he consider leaving for the Cowboys?
Pure speculation, because he's not, I know him, but I don't know him like that, but that's the one. That's the New York Yankees, that's the Dallas Cowboys, that's the one. Great city, we got Dak Prescott, we got Zeke Elliott, we got a loaded team. You know, and I can't speak for him, obviously. If you can speculate, I don't know what's going on there, but to me, that's the one job in professional football you can say I've ever been lost.
Had you been called by the Cowboys?
I haven't.
But if you would have been, you spend a couple of days there.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That one?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not in the market for a job, but I'm just telling you, if they called me about that job, I would take that job because it's that good a job. Right? I mean, that was amazing. But it also tells me a couple of things. One, O'Barra coach again. Two, I agree with him on the Dallas Cowboys. Right? That's you gotta take it. Three, I also thought that Urban, and I think he didn't mean to, but he did it, and he didn't really clean up. You don't ever talk about taking a job that's currently out there, right? Like that's a big one for coaching. It's a big one for coaching. You don't go like, yeah, I want for a job that you currently are, because it undercuts anybody trying to get. And I don't actually think Meyer thought of it in the way that we were thinking about it. Hey, he just said he would take the job. That's impossible not to do. That's impossible not to make that connection. So the question is, does he think of USC along the same line? Does he have the same affinity for USC and the history? Considering he didn't go to Ohio State, because that one you got to take a look at. You essentially have to take. And that we don't know, he wasn't asked about. I'm not sure he would comment on. The other reason he would comment on is because you don't comment on jobs that are currently occupied, but it's just with begin with. Anyway. I guess my question on Meyer being a good NFL head coach would be, well, his offensive philosophy has been really a collegiate. Do I think it's good leader men? Sure. Do I think that he hired good assistants? I don't know enough about schematically, defensively, offensively, but I do know that his quarterbacks, by and large, have not succeeded in the pros. And you know, the system is more of a college system. That doesn't mean he couldn't have gone or couldn't hire a big-time offensive coordinator. Is that what he's about? Because Lincoln Riley is also interesting. You know, he's taking college football by storm, and the thought is that look what he did with Baker Mayfield, look what he did with Kyler Murray. But if Baker Mayfield doesn't succeed, Kyler Murray, though I think he's a little better than Baker Mayfield as a thrower, he's not a stunning success. Doesn't he become another college offense? Right? Doesn't he become another air raid guy, and the air raid doesn't fit? Right? I don't think it's as much of a no-brainer for Lincoln Riley as some are lead to believe. The other part is, it's not a bad job. It's not a good one. Which is, hey, you know,
Ultimately, that he was being fired, but you would never see a headline in the Denver Post or the Rocky Mountains or anywhere saying that Broncos fired John. Okay. Would be resigning or working out.
Okay, what has to happen for that to happen if John Elway would be fired or relieved of his duties here? It's like St. John's with Chris Mullen, Clyde Drexler with the University of Houston. You don't hire somebody you can't fire. Denver hires somebody they can't fire in John Elway. And then, therefore, it would take John Elway with the self-awareness to go, I'm probably not helping this franchise that I made great.
I can't think of anyone more a face of a franchise, almost in any sport, than Elway with the Broncos.
And here they are.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Follow my logic here.
It's Outkick the Coverage with Clay Travis.
It's a messy situation because we were already talking about how in the AFC in particular, it seemed to me like there was a substantial gap between the New England Patriots and everybody else. And if Patrick Mahomes is out for a substantial period of time, this is a messy situation for the entirety of the AFC. Also factoring in here for the Kansas City Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes' age. I would think that they would want to maintain his health as well as they possibly can, considering he is their quarterback of the future, still under his rookie contract. Wouldn't want to put him out there with a knee if it were such that the likelihood of a more substantial injury was on the horizon either.
It's Outkick the Coverage with Clay Travis.
6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
1400 The Game, NEPA's Fox Sports Radio. WICK Scranton, WCDL Carbondale, W294BJ Homesdale at 106.7.
Sports trending now.
Game 5 of the American League Championship Series is on Fox Sports 1. First pitch just a little over 2 hours from now. It's Justin Verlander against James Paxton. Astros and Yankees with Houston up 3-1. The Yankees will have Giancarlo Stanton in the starting lineup. He'll DH tonight and bat fourth. Because of the baseball game on Fox Sports 1, MO4 Ohio State will take on Northwestern, and Big Ten play in college football on the Big Ten Network at 8:30 Eastern Time. An MRI in the knee of injured Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes did not reveal additional damage outside of the dislocated kneecap. This, according to multiple reports. The Saints won't have running back Alvin Kamara against the Bears, ruled out with knee and ankle injuries. Rams head coach Sean McVay says running back Todd Gurley and quarterback Jalen Ramsey will play Sunday against the Falcons. Pelicans rookie forward Zion Williamson out a few weeks, according to ESPN, with a sore knee. I'm Dan Byard.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show.
This is America's longest-running afternoon drive sports radio show, broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio. Here's Doug Gottlieb.
What up, Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. Hope you're ready to have a great weekend. World Series may be set by the end of tonight as the Yankees try and just find a way to win one game at home but extend the series. That's on Fox Sports 1. Big night on Fox, right? Fox Sports 1 has Astros, Yankees. The Big Ten Network, which we at Fox 2 own, has Northwestern Ohio State. That moves from Fox Sports 1. Justin Verlander against James Paxton. That feels like a mismatch, doesn't it? But Verlander wasn't classic Verlander last time out, so we'll see. The Yankees just trying to win a game. Houston a big favorite tonight at the stadium. That would end the ALCS. That would set up a World Series between the Astros and the Nationals. Starting pitching, Relu. Let's get to the story of last night, which I think is going to be the story of the next 6-8 weeks of the season. Pat Mahomes had a dislocated kneecap, trying to get a quarterback sneak right around the goal line with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs end up thumping the Denver Broncos who couldn't block. I mean, as much as we want to pick apart the Chiefs defense and what they didn't do the 2 previous weeks, they did do last night getting after Joe Flacco. Flacco constantly under duress and looked like regular season Joe Flacco. Right? The Broncos got behind early. They're down 20-6 at the half. I don't even think that changed their game plan that much. So they run for 71 yards, and the Chiefs get the win. But the Mahomes injury, and look, Mahomes wasn't killing the world. He's 10 of 11, 76 yards, picking them apart. Game did feel like It was a mismatch. He ends up dislocating his knee. And I'm guessing Ramos is a look away guy, right? He didn't want the kneecap pop back in. I couldn't get enough of it. I've watched it 50 times on replay. Pop that thing back in. Pop that. Yes! Yes! Pop that knee back in. That's right. But when you see Pat Mahomes walk off and he tells his coach, I'm going to be all right, and today the MRI, like, oh, you know, best possible scenario. The best possible scenario is your star quarterback doesn't get hurt, right? That's the best possible scenario. This is the best of the worst possible scenario. Bad news is he hurt his knee. Good news is it ain't a season ender, we don't think. But of course, the Kansas City Chiefs were set, on most people's estimation, to give Pat Mahomes the biggest contract we've ever seen at the position. And now his knee's popped out. They're like, oh, no, pop back in. Now, I can never remember which was Riggs and which was Murtaugh. Was Danny Glover Riggs or was Danny Glover Murtaugh? Okay, so Danny Glover was Murtaugh, and that means Mel Gibson was Riggs. And I don't know if you remember, do you guys remember, am I too old? Like, Ramos was sitting there nodding his head. I see him, yeah. And Lethal Weapon was Buddy Cop movie 101. Lethal Weapon 4 is when it really got good. They had Joe Pesci and Chris Rock. But Lethal Weapon was really good. Riggs used to get himself in a jam and then get himself out of a jam by popping his shoulder out of socket, right? That was kind of like his go-to move. Like Steph Curry's go-to move is step back. Riggs' go-to move was popping his shoulder out of socket. That's not Mahomes' go-to move. They're like, oh, he popped his shoulder out. He's fine now. Don't worry about him in the next scene. This is a $200 million quarterback. Mostly because of his arm, some because of his legs. And when a knee pops out that easily and pops back in that easily, no matter what other damage was done, the thought in your mind is, well, he's going to happen again. Right? I mean, everybody else is in there going like, yeah, like a guy who pops out his shoulder, CC pops out his shoulder pitching level. So if you think next time he pitches, not pitching more, but next time he throws a pitch to his kid, he's going to worry about popping it out again? Of course. We know how joints work. How not just sockets, but hinge joints. What's a hinge joint? Your knee hinge joint. I think your knee's a hinge joint. Now those work. And it feels like usually they pop out and pop back in. They're gonna pop back in again. So you're gonna get it back straight. So now you talk about they have the 10th hardest schedule remaining. Home game really, but still go to New England. They got Green Bay at home. Like Tennessee is a road game, and as much as we think of Tennessee as a bad team, maybe these changing quarterbacks reinvigorates them. And like, look, the ball up to Matt Moore is gigantic. Gigantic. There are just throws that Pat Mahomes can make that no one else can make, and that causes you to have to defend not just Pat Mahomes, but Tyreek Hill differently because you have the ultimate weapon and the ultimate weapon to throw the ultimate weapon. So I'm normally a half-full guy. I'm normally like, he's back. He's injured, not hurt, but it's not an ACL. It's not a hip. He didn't shred his knee. He didn't Alex Smith it. He'll be all right. But this is a year in which the AFC, who's from the AFC South scared? Houston, we did see them beat a banged-up Kansas City team. New England scares you, especially with their defense. Maybe it's not as much their offense. Nobody else in the West. It's like, this is a year which Kansas City was close last year, lined up off 5, would have gotten there. And now I'm just wondering if they make the playoffs. See, this is 4 games. You tell me the game that they win with Matt Moore at work. Matt Moore was going to be a high school coach before he got the call this year. Vikings at home. Packers at home, Vikings at home, Titans on the road, Chargers at home. Excuse me, Chargers in Mexico City. Right? Then the Raiders. Then they go to the Patriots. Before they finish up, Broncos at Bears, Chargers at home, a team they lost to last year. And that could be for the division. Maybe I think higher of the Chargers and their ability to bounce back. Maybe I think less of Matt Moore than I should, who was a good quarterback with the Dolphins, is a solid, smart, steady backup, and they have a bunch of weaponry around him. But I look at knee injuries, and I understand that Pat Mahomes' career is one of the innocent teams on a pay for the next 15 years. They're not rushing him back. Like, it didn't stop me at all. You hear a story of months now. Pat Mahomes is fine. He's ready. But the Chiefs want to be extra positive and keep out a couple more weeks. And the whole thing is built around him. With a big game in February. It's super easy, and it's free to play. Hey, you love wings? You love ice cold beer? You love world famous Hoosier girl. Here's over the place and here's the game for sports station now. Down takes the answer a few questions about football. To watch all the games. defense a little bit better. Good takeaway ratio. Texas Tech covers. Texas Tech at 7 points. I take the money line taking the win. The team Texas Tech beat was Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State coming off of a bye, going against Baylor, who nearly lost at home. OSU 5-1 against the spread, playing on homecoming at home. And well, I mentioned Texas Tech. Charlie Brewer struggled throwing 3 interceptions, and I just, if you haven't seen Chuba Hubbard play, he's, I think, the second best, the best running back in the country. Tyler Wallace, one of the best wide receivers in the country. They got a potent run-pass game. Oklahoma State, young, much better at home. Cowboys, 4-point favorites. They win, they cover at home. This is more of just a spread pick. Tonight on the Big Ten Network, Northwestern takes out Ohio State. Northwestern only 1-4. But the defense has been off to a good start. Top 40 in scoring defense, total defense, red zone defense, total passing, top 10 in fewest first downs allowed. And I look at it, and 27.5 points at home on a Friday night. I'm going to take Northwestern, take the point. Penn State's been great at home. They were very average at best against Iowa on the road. They returned against the Michigan team. I think their defense is great against the pass. And Sean Clifford, the Penn State quarterback, struggled last week. 12-24. Remember, Michigan allows only 160 yards passing per game. Some of that helped out by the fact they played Army, who never threw it. But I don't know if Michigan can win this game on the road. I definitely think it's going to be a field goal game. Michigan getting 9. Give me the underdog Wolverines and points. And then I look at this Mississippi State spread, 18 points against LSU. Bulldogs are 6-1 against the spread last 7 home games, 24-6 at home against the spread last 30 home games. And LSU traditionally plays down to the level of competition against Mississippi State, 1-4 against the line last 5 games. Keep an eye on Kylan Hill, second in the SEC in rush yards per game. I know he's going against LSU, but LSU's defense is not what it has been. LSU, frankly, has turned into an offensive juggernaut, and I think, just like the NFL, the best defense is to not play defense. Keep that offense and Joe Burrow's off the field. Mississippi State will do it, LSU will win, but not by more than 18. So the picks are Mississippi State and the points, Michigan and the points, Northwestern and the points, Texas Tech and the points, and the favorite Oklahoma State Cowboys lay the points. Let's get to the NFL. The Titans taking on the Chargers. Tennessee is top 10 in the NFL in total offense, facing a Chargers team that is depleted, worn down, beaten up. No Mike Pouncey, no Derwin James, probably no Russell Okung, Justin Jackson, Melvin Ingram, Brandon Mebane. Just a few of the Chargers have been out this week and in previous weeks. Chargers shell themselves. Titans get new energy from changing quarterbacks. Remember, 2.5 is not 3. I'm going to take the Titans to win and cover at home. I'm going to change my pick here. I was going to take the Eagles, and then I saw that Amari Cooper is going to play. The Cowboys get their bookend tackles back. They get Amari Cooper back. They're playing at home. Eagles defense is a mess. I like the Cowboys in the point. Vikings taking on the Lions. Vikings are 3-0 versus the spread last 3 games. Taking on the Lions team that has a short week to prepare. Ever since Kirk Cousins said sorry to Adam Thielen, he's thrown for an average of, they've had an average of 469 yards on offense. And Dalvin Cook's been incredible. Minnesota's ranked 3rd in the NFL in total rushing, ranked 6th in total defense and scoring defense as well. Look, I think the Lions are good, but it's not like they're unbeatable at home. Chargers should have beat, couldn't punch in. Mitch Trubisky expected to play, so will Taylor Gabriel. Alvin Kamara seems unlikely to go, seeing as he did not practice today. I just think Bears at home, traditionally, Saints, not great in open air. I'm not a huge buyer in Teddy Bridgewater. More people get tape on him. Bears win, Bears cover at home with that defense. And the Niners taking on the Redskins. 49ers are 4-1 against the spread. Washington 1-5 against the spread. Washington changing coaches, but Washington can't change personnel. They just can't. And look, I think that Kyle Shanahan wants to make a point of this game. Remember, they fired his dad. He said coaching with his dad and some of the coaches and players were the Washington is 30th in the NFL in first downs game. That defense will be on the field a long time. The offensive line can't protect. They don't have a quarterback they like. They don't have a head coach. They're a mess. Give me the Niners in the board. So you got Titans, Eagles, Vikings, Bears, Niners. 5 for 5.
5 on 3, 1, 2, 3. There it is. 5 NFL, 5 college. 5 for 5 with Doug Godley.
A Super Bowl favorite is missing one of their star players. No, not Pat Mahomes, somebody else. Next.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. There's so much content that we provide. Look at that. Sometimes you can't get it all. How crazy is that? Good thing we podcast it all. All right, Skippy. Just go to foxsportsradio.com. Find what you missed and podcast it. foxsportsradio.com.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you are getting for match. You get the cash back, and then even more cash back to match it. Discover cash back match. What are you waiting for? Learn more at discover.com/match. That's discover.com/match.
I'm Chris Riccobono, founder of Untuck It. We started Untuck It because we couldn't find shirts that look good untucked. That's why we created the perfect untucked shirt so guys can look sharp and feel casual. Untuck It shirts fall at just the right length. We have 50 fit combinations so tall, short, slim, and bigger guys of all ages can look great in Untuck It shirts. Try the original Untucked shirt at one of 75 Untuck It stores or at untuckit.com.
Use the promo code FALL for 20% off your first purchase.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Use Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simply use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet, and our best price ever. 99 cents plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Household separate. Underage sale prohibited.
I'm Dr. Jeff Gooden, and I treat pain with Salon Pass. That's because practicing good medicine is my responsibility as a doctor. For back or joint pain, I agree with CDC guidance that recommends using topical pain relievers first, like Salon Patch Large, good medicine.
Honeydew Services is all about quality, comfort, and value. Right now, for a limited time, get an early season heating check for just $109. Hurry, book yours now. The price won't be lower this season. Offer ends October 31st. Call Honeydew today.
Alexa, play Fox Sports 1430 Binghamton on iHeartRadio.
On the show is greatness. Kevin Durant's better player.
Smart speaker.
Are we cheering for idiots? What's going on?
Sounds more like a dumb speaker, am I right?
You're an idiot. Nice job.
Get the best sports talk delivered right to your speaker. This is easy. Just say, Alexa, play Fox Sports 1430 Binghamton on iHeartRadio.
I didn't think it was going to be this easy. News Report is sponsored by Audible.
Now traffic from Fox Sports 1430 Binghamton.
From the Bryce Chopper Market 32 Traffic Center, expect your standard spotty delays on the Vestal Parkway both ways from 26 through 201. Traffic is moving up to speed for your afternoon commute on 81 both ways, Colesville Road to Front Street through the construction zone. Close Route 17 both ways, Route 201 to 81. I'm Kyle James of Binghamton Traffic.
Take Audible along and listen to best-selling audiobooks, exclusive originals, and guided wellness programs anywhere with the Audible app. Stay informed, inspired, and entertained. Your first audiobook is free at audible.com.
I'm Dr. Bob Arnott, and I treat pain with Salon Pass. Before you take anything for back or joint pain, I recommend applying topical pain relievers first, like Salon Pass Lidocaine Patch. Salon Pass Lidocaine contains the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. It blocks pain receptors, providing effective, long-lasting, and non-addictive. It's good medicine.
Take a step toward updating your home with exclusive light-proof vinyl plank flooring from the Home Depot, starting at just $3.19 a square foot. It locks together for easy installation. It's waterproof, scratch-resistant, and comes in a variety of trendy styles with over 40 colors to choose from. That's a step in the right direction. Today is the day for doing with light-proof vinyl plank flooring, starting at just $3.19 a square foot. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. purchase only. See store for details.
The iHeartRadio app is my favorite radio station.
I love music.
It's also great because all the different things I like, podcasts, music, I can make playlists, but it's all in one place.
I listen to it when I run, and anything is right at my fingertips. I like to dance to it. It's so easy to use. Podcast,
I'll just straight up binge it.
Very easy to use.
it's all free.
The iHeartRadio app. Radio, music, podcasts. All free. Free never sounded better. Download the iHeartRadio app today.
Binghamton Devils hockey is back tomorrow against the Rangers of Philly and Hartford. It's $10 tickets for all college students and your choice of a free drink or slider at Craft after the game. Devils in Wolfpack tomorrow.
Sunday. Giants hosting Arizona Cardinals, and we are there. Giants pregame kicks off at noon Sunday on Binghamton's home for Giants football. Fox Sports 1430. Fox Sports 1430 Binghamton. It's radio. Tomorrow, start Saturday strong with a big news Saturday game of the week as West Virginia takes on Heisman candidate Jalen Hurts and the Oklahoma Sooners. It all starts with a big noon kickoff pregame show at 11 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio, here's Doug Gottlieb.
Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. Nice, I feel good about my 5 for 5 picks. I'm seeing a lot of naysayers from Ramos and music. They want no part of this. No part of it. They assume I'm going to fall back and slide back to the mean after a couple good weeks in a row. In the meantime, let's get you updated on all the stories of the day. Here's the press.
The press.
Dan Byer. What do you got?
Doug, fantasy football teams will want to know this information for sure. Packers ruled out wide receiver Devontae Adams in their game against the Raiders on Sunday. Still out with that knee injury.
You know, look, I do feel like if you can get through this week, you know, like you can survive against the Raiders. Devontae Adams is such an important part, and they had so many drops, and he changes the dynamic. You know, you got a Z wide receiver, it changes the pecking order. But that's a big one, because it's one of the reasons I didn't pick the Packers, not knowing if he's going to play.
Sweep the leg. Saints running back Alvin Kamara out against the Bears because of knee and ankle injuries. They're in Chicago on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? You think Alvin Kamara plays?
No, he's been ruled out. So
he's been ruled out.
Yeah.
So I just saw he didn't practice.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't this feel like the Bears smashed them? I mean, maybe not smash them because they don't have the offense, but you get your quarterback back, you're playing at home. Saints are still playing, and I know Bridgewater's played well of late, but you take Alvin Kamara off that team, he's arguably the best running back in the league. Feels too easy to take the Bears, doesn't it?
It does. Adam Kaplan, who joined us earlier, was really high on the Saints in this game. Just high on the Saints period because he liked what they did on defense. Yep. Other news, injury-wise, fantasy football, you were talking about Eagles, Cowboys, Amari Cooper's back again for the Cowboys. Played just 3 plays against the Jets before leaving with that quad injury. Tyron Smith is expected to return from an ankle injury to play against the Eagles.
3. Yeah, anyone on La'el Collins?
I believe he's going to go too. So he will. So they are getting healthy.
Yeah, well, look, the team is built around their offensive line, which helps them run the football. And I know that the Eagles' issue has been their defensive backfield. But, I mean, look, it's as simple as I see them get Amari Cooper back, I change my pick. I think it's that big a change when you get this personnel back.
Bengals suspended tackle Cordy Glenn for their game against Jacksonville for internal disciplinary reasons. Doug, the two sides, the Bengals and Glenn, arguing over Glenn's concussion that he suffered in the preseason and likely when he can return to action. ProFootballTalk.com says the team fined him $200,000 for conduct detrimental to the team. He asked head coach Zach Taylor to cut him. So quite a scenario unfolding in Cincinnati as the Bengals, well, continue to look for win number one.
Right, and that's the Bengals fault, right? I mean, we had DJ on, and I could have had him tell stories about how cheap the Bengals are. But this is like an every year thing with the Bengals, isn't it? Every year there's some story about the Bengals fighting over money with players.
NBA now with the official heights and weights of players. The Athletic, Shams Charania, saying that there are some changes to the players for the upcoming season. Dwight Howard no longer 6'11". He's 6'9 3/4", which is the same height as Anthony Davis, who is also listed as 6'11". LeBron actually grew a half inch with these new measurements, while Kevin Durant grew a half inch from 6'9 to 6'9.5".
Yeah, it's interesting. Most people thought Kevin Durant was 7 feet tall. Maybe it's because everybody else isn't nearly as tall as they were listed.
The Chinese government refuting claims made by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who said that officials sought the termination of Houston Rockets GM Daryl Morey. A spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry says the Chinese government never posed that requirement.
You calling Adam Silver a liar?
That's a lie.
That's a lie. I got to go back and hear the exact quote. I don't know if they're saying they officially, like, look, there's a gray area there. Did they officially say we want you to fire him? Maybe not. Did they say this all would go away if you fired him? Maybe.
Yankees pitcher CC Sabathia did talk today about his career ending last night with a shoulder injury. Doug, I know you talked about this earlier, but this was CC meeting with the media earlier today.
This is probably the best way for it to end for me, because the way I've been feeling, loving the bullpen, jogging out, feeling pretty good. I feel like about July of next year, I've been like, I could pitch. So, knowing that obviously, the way I feel now, I can't. I think it's kind of fair. I'll do it until I can't anymore.
Yeah, I think this is, what I said earlier is no boxer walks out of his last fight. It actually is a good thing for CC, because now there's no like, hey, can he come back? Like, now he popped his shoulder out, and his knee was busted on his last pitch as New York Yankee. I love CC Sabathia. I liked him when he was an Indian. I liked him when he was a Brewer. I liked him when he was a Yankee. And I don't have any affinity for any of those three teams.
And that's the press.
Thank you, Mr. Press.
That was the press.
Buy your biggest upset we'll see tomorrow in college football. You got one?
Oh, geez. You always ask me about the NFL, and I was going to say I love the Jets on Monday night against the Patriots.
I can get that Sunday on your show. But there are some big ranked team games. Northwestern, Ohio State tonight. Clemson, Louisville tonight. Big spread. Florida, South Carolina, Auburn, Arkansas, LSU. Not a ton of upset potential ones. I got my alma mater, Oklahoma State will not be an upset because they're a 4-point favorite. Trent Dilfer joins us Monday. Joe Platt joins us Monday, right? Joe Platt. And next week is Ohio State, Wisconsin. We'll see what happens with, I think Michigan beats Penn State at Penn State. There you go, there's my upset. Have a great weekend. This is Doug Allen Show, Fox Sports Radio.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, Rick, Dave, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. How old are you here? 4. Woohoo, tasty. I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. How old? Oak tree? Still in the same place I lived last year. That's what I like, consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's like every morning. You think we'd have learned by now to be the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel, has anybody seen Mrs. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The
This is the drop is the Rich Eisen Show.
Breaking news here, Ian Rappaport saying the Washington Redskins named the starting quarterback against Miami Dolphins this week. It's going to be Case Keenum, guys. Assuming his foot injury allows him, Colt McCoy back to the bench.
The kid must, I don't know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rich Eisen Show.
I do want to say this really quick.
Rich Eisen, weeknight 7 till 10 on Fox Sports 1280 Rochester.
Again this year, the Binghamton area Matthews dealers are celebrating Halloween with a spectacular smoke and treats for the kids, grandma, brings mommy nuts, and this is why the trunk or treat at the Matthews dealerships in the 7-2, Tuesday, October 31st, Halloween day from 2 to 5 p.m. Free candy for the kids and surprises too, and be sure to register when tickets to see the one day in Binghamton. Even on Cookies Day, at the 4 on December 4th, October 31st from 2 to 5. Don't be afraid. It's only Halloween.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. It's time smoking change too. Uzalto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simply use surprisingly quiet and impossibly powerful. The best vapor yet, best price ever. 99 cents plus tax at participating retailers. 99 cents offer applies to all flavor boxes. Cost etc. Underage stock limited.
Undercoating necessary protection from rust for your car or SUV. Look better and last longer with C-Bar undercoating. Letting most of the case for your